Mike Archer, and this is his Tiger team. They're unbeaten, and they're closing in on an SEC championship with a trip down the interstate to New Orleans. It began with a season-opening win against Texas A&M. The Tigers off to a 3-0 beginning when the Buckeyes of Ohio State came to town. LSU led early, but the Buckeyes came back, and LSU escaped with a 13-all tie. The Tigers clawed their way to a close win against Florida, eking out a 13-10 margin, and then barely hanging on. Another squeaker against Georgia as SEC foes fought right down to the wire. LSU prevailed 26-23. But the Tigers aren't the only ones thinking Sugar Bowl. Bill Curry in his first year at Alabama, and the Tide is steeped in bowl tradition. If they get there, it will be because of Bobby Humphrey and a youngster at quarterback, the freshman Jeff Dunn. Tommy Hodson and LSU stand in their way, but the quarterback is banged up. How badly could decide who needs reservations in New Orleans. From Tiger Stadium in Baton Rouge, Louisiana. The unbeaten Tigers, 7-0-1, come in ranked number 5, hosting 15th ranked Alabama with a record of 6-2. But that's overall. In the SEC, you can see right there the updated standings. And as of tonight, as far as LSU is concerned, only one team, Alabama, stands between the Tigers and a virtual lock on the SEC championship and a trip to New Orleans and the Sugar Bowl. Conversely, only 2 teams stand between that Sugar Bowl bid and at least a tie for the conference championship with Alabama. Those 2 teams are LSU and Auburn. Hi again, everybody. I'm Jim Kelly, and welcome. The big story in college football here at LSU this week surrounds the status of quarterback Tommy Hodson, the super youngster who's completing almost 63% of his passes, 11 touchdowns, has a banged-up left knee. Very questionable tonight. But if he can't go, well, no reason to worry, because Mickey Guidry is waiting on the sideline, and he is just like a coach on the sidelines, Kevin Kiley. Not a big drop-off.
No, there won't be a big, well, maybe, you know, he's not a coach on the sidelines tonight, Jim. He's going to be a coach on the field. Now, Hodson is a big loss. He's led this team for 2 years. He's got a rifle arm. He's got all the experience. He's a great player, and this is the guy that has made LSU go. They have a lot of confidence in Guidry, but basically the differences between the 2 players, Guidry is a more physical player. With him at the helm, LSU is a running team. They will go to the option. They need to run the ball tonight, take the pressure off of Guidry, the passer, in order to beat Alabama.
And, of course, the leading receiver in the SEC, and certainly for the Tigers, Wendell Davis, he's got a banged-up set of ribs right now, and that's got to bother him going over the middle. He will play, but psychologically, what does that do to Wendell?
Well, it's tough for Wendell, but it's not only his ribs, it's also the quarterback situation. He's used to taking the ball from Hodson, and it will affect him in that he'll have to be more open because Guidry doesn't have as strong an arm as Hodson does. The defense of Alabama will have to be very aware of Wendell Davis. Their defensive secondary held these guys to 87 yards passing last year. The offense for Alabama, of course, Jeff Dunn has never lost at quarterback. They have Bobby Humphrey, the Heisman Trophy candidate. This is a running team. They'll need to run against a tough LSU defense tonight, Jim.
A big shootout in the SEC. We're just about set for the kickoff and getting ready to charge out first. Here they come, the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Led out by the man in the sweater, the youngest head coach in college football, Mike Archer. The Tigers of LSU. They're unbeaten. It's number 5 against number 15, LSU and Alabama. ESPN presentation of CFA football is being brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By the makers of the CFA VCR College Bowl game. And by Budweiser. Beechwood A's for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand. Make this world a better place. If you can.
Now, every time you use MasterCard, we'll donate money to 6 worthy causes. Look for the balance and help choose where the money goes.
Reach out and touch somebody's hand.
Choose to make a difference. Choose MasterCard.
We're not a company, but we'll give you a chance to work where there's always a challenge. We'll give you opportunities to learn, to develop, to perfect skills that you thought were beyond your reach. We'll help you build a career that can reward you for the rest of your life. We're not a company, we're your country. We're the Army, the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines. We're the Armed Forces. It's a great place to start.
Two great college football coaches come together for another great game.
Barry, I think we should punt.
No, let's go for it.
Enjoy the thrill of real college football action
Oh, it's their ball, Johnson.
with the VCR College Bowl game. Punt, go for a field goal, score the winning touchdown. You can do it all.
It's a touchdown.
Look for VCR College Bowl football wherever games are sold. Also look for VCR Top Rank Boxing Game, the brand new game that puts you center ring for some of the greatest matches in boxing history.
Be right back, Pop.
This bud's for all that you do.
Hey, Pete, come here. This year?
Hey, my glove.
I found out Pop worked overtime to pay for it. He was always knocking himself out to give us something better.
Sounds a lot like you.
Budweiser, the king of beers,
Hey, Bob.
salutes everyone who's ever worked for more than just a paycheck.
Thanks. I think that's my line.
This bud's for you.
Welcome back, everybody. If there's a royal succession in coaching, then tonight's head guys, Mike Archer of LSU and Bill Curry of Alabama, have lots of blue blood in their veins. Mike Archer grew up at State College, Pennsylvania, actually lived right next door to Penn State coach Joe Paterno. While he was an assistant at Miami, he was exposed to the offensive genius of Howard Schnellenberger, and of course 3 years an assistant here at LSU. A defensive magician, Bill Arnsparger, taught him a lot. Bill Curry, of course, played for Bobby Dodd, Vince Lombardi, and Don Shula. And as an all-pro center, he admitted he was physically overmatched in a lot of games, but he made up for it by studying and finding an opponent's weaknesses. That's what his Alabama team will have to do tonight against LSU. There's a lot at stake, a possible SEC championship, and maybe Coach of the Year honors for one of these two head coaches. Jim?
All right, partner, we're just about set to kick it off. You're looking at number 8, the senior, 5'11", 165 pounds, out of New Orleans. That is Ron Lewis. That is number 26, Bobby Humphrey. He averages almost 26 yards on his kickoff returns. Kerry Good is also back deep, number 35. Almost 90,000 on their feet. Another big shootout in the SEC. This one's out of downtown Baton Rouge. Out of the end zone for Lewis. 1st and 10 for the Alabama Crimson Tide at their 20, led by the freshman, Jeff Dunn.
Jeff's never lost a game as a quarterback, high school or college. He's 17-0, and he's a good prospect. Bobby Humphrey, not a Heisman candidate anymore, but he's an explosive runner, a good one. Whitehurst has turned into a big play receiver. Howard Cross, a great blocking tight end. Bentley and Chapman, the youngster, has had a good year. Chapman's a guy to watch. Larry Rose, maybe the best on the offensive line.
Battle left, Whitehurst right. Dunn pitches it back to Humphrey. Humphrey's got 5. Humphrey's got 10 and a first down. Willie Bryant on the stop. Let's meet that Tiger defense.
A pleasant surprise, the front three for LSU. They played well all year. Tommy Clapp, a defensive co-captain. Outside linebacker, Sancho's a sack guy. He leads the team, the secondary in sacks. Darren Marlborough and Nicky Hazard. Hazard, a co-captain, both excellent inside linebackers. Bryant Guidry has 10 career interceptions, as does Carrier, the safety. A good defensive unit for LSU.
Willie Bryant, Kevin, who made that tackle, leaves with a knee injury. The senior out of Fort Walton Beach. So James Pearson, the senior from New Orleans, checks in at that left cornerback spot. Battle in motion, top of your screen. Dunn flares it out. He's got Clay Whitehurst, and Whitehurst is out of bounds at the 40 of Alabama. Kevin Guidry on the stop.
Play action right away for Alabama, trying to get the LSU defense. They were going the other way with their defense. They throw back to the weak side, and Dunn completes it. Amazing that this fellow was not in the plans this year, but he's come in and played very, very well. Had a little bit of a lapse last week against Mississippi State. They almost lost the game, but he came on in the last drive, completed 3 big passes, and helped Alabama.
The ball just at the 40-yard line. 14:21 left to go. First quarter. A lot of emotion in this. Motion by Pierre Good. Freshman throws it for all he can. Incomplete at the 15. Pierre Good, the sophomore, covered step for step by Kevin Guidry.
And think you get an idea there of Alabama's willingness to gamble in this game. Second and short, they figure they're going to get LSU looking for a first down play, and they go for all of it. Confidence in the youngster Dunn.
Remember a couple of weeks ago when we had Alabama, we talked to the Crimson coaches and we asked them what Dunn's best range is. We said, we don't know, we're still learning. Epps and Cross, the double tight end. Good and Whitehurst to the wideouts. That's Bo Wright blocking behind Jeff Bentley and Larry Rose around the left side. Hazard and Carrier on the stop defensively for the Tigers of LSU.
Alabama coming with a full house backfield using power to the short side of the field, picking up a first down.
Second first down of the ball game. If you look at the back of Doug Allen, the senior. 15 of those in high school. Bobby Humphrey. Tigers snip it out, but Humphrey cannot be stopped. Into Tiger territory, stopped at the 49. Nicky Hazard, the senior out of New Orleans, one of the captains, helped out by Chris Carrier.
Good blocking at the corner. Alabama likes to run at cross. You see 85, a double team on the corner on Sancho, and then they leave it up to Humphrey to pick his hole. The toss sweep only works when you have the great tailback with the great vision. And as Pete Jenkins, defensive coordinator of LSU, says, that man Humphrey was born to run the toss sweep.
That is Tommy Clapp, number 97, the senior out of Gretna, Louisiana. 6'4", 265 pounds. Their most experienced defensive lineman. He's played all three positions at LSU. Who is down, it looks like that right knee. Tigers have been beset by injuries in the last couple of weeks.
Well, this guy was a swing guy last year, and the front three have really carried the defense. They've played extremely well. They lost those three great players, Wilson, Barbet, and Thomas. They replaced them with three that were question marks, Tommy Clapp being one of them, and they have just played superbly throughout the year, led LSU to an undefeated record.
Every Saturday morning at 11:30 Eastern Time, ESPN kicks off your Saturday with College Football Game Day, the most comprehensive hour in college football. Tim Brando, Bino Cook, and Kerry Ross on College Football Game Day. Next Saturday, it'll be Auburn against Georgia, or Auburn against Boston College, or Georgia against Syracuse. Well, wait a minute. It's horizontal, right? Auburn against Georgia, or Boston College against Syracuse. Then Penn State against Pitt. That's where Kevin and I will be. And Colorado against San Diego State, a triple header next Saturday here on ESPN.
Clapp leaving the field. He does not look like he will be able to continue. He's not putting any weight on that leg.
Humphrey, 2 carries, 18 yards. Line of scrimmage, the 49 of LSU. Battle and Stafford now wide to the left. Bobby Humphrey behind Bo Wright. Stacked up. Picks up 2 tough yards. Cracks it down near the 46. Eric Hill, the junior out of Galveston, Texas. Greg Jackson, the junior from Miami, on the hit.
Number 52, Sancho on cross. Doing a great job. Getting in, held. Still getting off it and making the tackle at the corner. Sancho's been a big part of this defense. Done a super job. Cross is an excellent blocking tight end. Sancho plays him off on that play.
There's the young man who came in with a 21 of 42 completion ratio, 367 yards, the freshman Jeff Dunn. He was an all-conference safety when Todd Ellis was the quarterback. How's that for training?
In North Carolina, in high school, that's right. He was all-state safety as a junior and came in and led his team to a 15-0 record as a senior in high school, and then came to Alabama. He's only played quarterback his senior year in high school, and then the previous 2 games he started here at Alabama. What a job he's done.
Less than a yard after the measurement, so Howard Cross, the junior tight end, and the senior tight end Craig Epps are in now. Less than a yard to go. Doug Allen, Bo Wright, and Bobby Humphrey, a full house backfield coming at you. Quick hitter straight ahead to Doug Allen. Darrell Phillips, the nose guard, the junior out of Franklin, Louisiana. Looks to be enough from up here for a first down. The initial surge, Roger Schultz, the center, Bill Condon, the right guard, and Darrell Phillips. Looks like he's on a gimpy knee as well.
Phillips limping around, did a nice job. They only needed about a yard, but he held up the center, Schultz. Just the momentum with the running back is what gave him the first down.
Wide to the left, Pierre Good. Motion by Russell Lamont. Just got the handoff to Bobby Humphrey. Carl Dunbar on the stop, 6'4", 265. He has 25 tackles for the Tigers.
We're talking to the LSU coaches about Bobby Humphrey, and they feel the difference. Let's take Emmitt Smith from Florida. The difference between Humphrey and Emmitt Smith. They don't feel that Emmitt Smith is the type of back that can go all the way at any time. They feel that way about Humphrey. On any given play from any place on the field, they feel Humphrey can score a touchdown. A basic difference and a big one between two great running backs.
It out. Bobby Humphrey got a blocker in front of him, turns it up inside the 40 and is stacked up at the 37-yard line. The initial hit by James Pearson, the senior out of New Orleans, missed most of last year because of academic problems.
Very subtle thing here from Dunn, the young quarterback. This is almost a lateral. If he had led him just a little bit, Humphrey had to wait to catch that ball. If he had led him just a little bit, he might have had another step. But they picked up good yardage. They executed the play.
The brothers Good, Pierre Good, number 2, the sophomore, is a wide receiver. Kerry Good, 35, checks in at running back. Bama 2 for 2 on third down conversion. Kerry Good slithers to the 36-yard line, stacked up there. Now a decision for Bill Curry. Do you go for it on 4th and 1, or do you kick? Early in the first quarter. What would you do?
I got to believe if you have a running team, a team that has to establish the run, you have to run the ball. You have to be able to get a yard if you need it. Prior to that, they were 2 for 2 on third down conversions, so they've had success with this power backfield. They had the most success running left with power.
First down as Nicky Hazard was the first to try and guard an airborne Kerry Good. Big blocking over that left side by Rose, 74, and Schultz, 66.
Rose is their best lineman. The thing about this play, if you're playing defense, that makes it so hard is they throw so many people at the hole. You have so many things to deal with. It's hard to leave your feet and catch that guy going into midair. The power backfield is very, very tough unless you stuff the first guy, the first block.
Well, play of the drive coming up. They've used up almost 5 minutes taking the kickoff. Inside handoff to the senior Doug Allen, 5'9", 200 pounds. Darrell Phillips, playing on that gimpy knee, made the hit.
The thing about LSU's defense, Jim, is that they're a defense that will stretch. Pete Jenkins likes to watch and see how a team gets down the field. He will make adjustments. They're in a blitz area right now. When you get into a passing situation, you can look for LSU to blitz a little bit and take a chance when they get backed up to their own goal line.
Angelo Stafford wide to the left. Marco Battle comes out wide to the right on 2nd and 9. Battle motions. Play action fake to Good. The Frenchman Dunn pulls it down, looks for help, and dances to the 28-yard line. Ron Sancho bumped him out, the junior from Avondale, Louisiana.
Nice job by the secondary. No place to pass the ball. Alabama using a lot of different things. A little bit of play action, a little bit of drop back, and that was a rollout, keeping LSU's defense off balance.
14th play of the drive. They have used 6 minutes and counting. They take the initial kickoff, which sailed out of the end zone. They started at their own 20, and they moved it all the way down to the 28-yard line of LSU. Whitehurst wide to the left, and in the flanker spot is number 88, Marco Battle. Bobby Humphrey gets a rest. The freshman sprints out, looks for help on a little comebacker. Was he inbounds at the 22? Clay Whitehurst. Incomplete. They'll bring it back to the 28-yard line. Tough call.
Here's Carl Dunbar getting outside. Now they have Humphrey and Wright trying to block him. He steps over Wright and takes a shot at Dunn after he throws the ball. But he's the guy, really, that kept Dunn on the move. Couldn't let him get set. Didn't let him get set in order to throw that ball.
Philip Doyle and what he's done so far this year, 3 of 5 between 40 and 49 yards. This will be a 45-yarder. Hash mark near side. Bama leads 3-0. They take the initial kickoff and march down and tack on 3 the kickoff when we come back.
Dreaming, dreaming, the dreams of America.
Now GMAC does more than finance and lease new GM cars and trucks. We finance homes with GMAC mortgages, finance boats, and our MIC insurance helps keep dreams safe.
The dreams of America, GMAC, we're making your dreams come true. The dreams of America, GMAC.
Official sponsor of America's Dream.
The test of a great airline is not just how fast it moves you in the air, but how fast it moves you on the ground. That's why at some of the busiest airports in the world, United Airlines offers you the most advanced baggage systems, faster ticketing and boarding procedures, and the most spacious, convenient, efficient terminals in the business. United Airlines, from the ground up, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
3-0 Alabama early. ESPN's presentation of CFA football being brought to you by GMAC, the financial services people from General Motors. By United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies. And by Computerland, the one thing to know about computers. Along with Kevin Kiley, I'm Jim Kelly, and welcome back. Alan Ward bangs it deep. Sam Martin, Eddie Fuller are deep. Fuller at the 2. 15, 20, dances to the 25, the 30. A good return of 28 yards for Eddie Fuller, and the Tigers will start 1st and 10, trailing 3-0 with 8:22 left to go. A shootout in the SEC, the Sugar Bowl's at stake.
Well, Fred, how's the computer committee coming?
Found one cheap, Max. Maybe even less than if we bought it at Computerland.
Will they train us like Computerland?
No.
Meet with us here like Computerland?
No.
How about talk to us?
Ooh, no.
I like Computerland.
Me too.
Over the past few years, Chevrolet has made a few changes. We've given you the InstaTrack 4x4 system, turbos to go quicker, an anti-lock brake system, and the highest mileage car in the country. So now Chevrolets are even more fun to drive, and so dependable they have a 660 warranty. As for how all those changes have affected Chevrolet, well, we're still America's best-selling cars.
The heartbeat of America. Chevrolet. That's today's Chevrolet.
Don't just ask for a light beer. Give me light. Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. The less filling light beer with the first name and taste.
Hi. Oh. Buy your friend a beer?
Sunday, live NFL action on the ESPN. The defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants take on the New England Patriots at 8 Eastern right after NFL primetime on ESPN.
There's our time left in the first quarter. LSU will just touch the football for the first time, trailing 3-0. That scoring drive, they go 52 yards. They use up 6.5 minutes in 15 plays. And a 45-yard field goal by Philip Doyle to put the Tide of Bill Curry up in front 3-0. That's Wayne Shaw out of Tacoma, Tennessee, number 43, a junior, a 6-footer. He was on the specialty team, and it looks like another knee. Look at the lower right-hand side, now in the center of the screen.
He gets his foot caught. Gets his left foot caught. When that happens and they roll on your knee, it's generally bad news. How bad? Of course, it's impossible to speculate. But one of the things desperately football people trying to figure out how to protect that knee. It's a pretty tough job.
Mickey Guidry gets the start tonight for the injured Tommy Hodson. The stats on Guidry so far this season. He's a junior, and at practice yesterday when we went out, didn't act like a young man that was nervous or intimidated or even excited about starting.
Well, they have great confidence in him. He's a very intelligent kid, stands on the sideline, does a lot of things for Mike Archer. But the difference here, as you look at him, very serious. There's Tom Hodson on the sideline with the bad knee. The difference between what Guidry's doing now and what he has been doing filling in is when you fill in, you stand on the sideline. While that fella is out there and Guidry here is standing on the sideline, he's watching what's going on with the defense. and he sees it before he has to play against it. That's not the case here. He's going to have to make instant evaluations against Alabama's defense and do the right thing immediately. A very different situation. Starting is not filling in. Never has been, never will be.
But the young man you're looking at right there, Guidry, has a lot of experience. You recall a year ago when LSU won 14-10, it was Mickey that scored the very first touchdown that put LSU on top on a 3-yard run. And the coaches have a lot of confidence in Guidry. He's like a coach on the sidelines. We touched on it briefly at the beginning.
Arch has been criticized for playing 2 quarterbacks. This week, everybody very happy that Guidry's been playing, and he has the type of experience he needs.
How about the rest of the offense for the Tigers?
Excellent. Very diversified, very balanced. Harvey Williams, a big play guy. He's got, sometimes talks a lot, but he can back it up quite often. He's coming on this year, playing very well. Wendell Davis, sore ribs and all, he's as good as you're going to find anywhere. The rest of the receivers excellent too. Great balance in the receiving corps. Offensive tackles. Davidson has beaten out Ubix here late in the season. Just plain beat him out and playing very well. The offensive line does the job. Not real physical except for Albergamo and Andelsek, who are both All-America candidates.
Don't forget, on Sunday, ESPN is your source for pregame analysis and postgame reflections on the National Football League. At 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time, join Chris Berman, Pete Axum, and Tom Jackson on NFL Game Day, a 1-hour preview of all the day's games. Then at 7 o'clock, Chris, Pete, and Tom are all back for NFL Prime Time, a 1-hour show reviewing all the games of the day. And don't forget, tomorrow at 8 o'clock, the NFL comes to ESPN. The Patriots taking on the defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants. Join Mike Patrick, Roy Firestone, and guest analyst Larry Zonka. And I know your pal Mike Patrick probably back in the hotel going over his charts, watching our game tonight. Good luck, Mike. Have a great broadcast tomorrow with Roy and Larry.
Yeah, I second that, Michael. You know, New York Giants, they'll be frothing at the mouth after the type of season they've had.
How about the fourth quarter last week against the Cowboys? You talk about a team that's self-destructed.
That's a team that I would not want to be mad, them to be mad when I played them, and that's the Patriots are going to walk into a buzzsaw there.
We're still in an injury timeout, so while things are straightened out, 8:22 to go, and Bama leading the Tigers 3-0. Let's take time out.
Ours, as you know, is not a perfect world. May I? That's why it's so refreshing when something really perfect comes along. Like Diet Coke. Tastes great straight or on the rocks. Yet it's just 1 calorie. That's why Diet Coke is the perfect soft drink. For an imperfect world.
Just for the taste of it. Diet Coke.
Tomorrow's world will turn on tomorrow's technology with ideas powered by the human mind. Ideas from minds that must be shaped today. That's why, as we celebrate 150 years of engineering excellence at the University of Alabama, we remind you of one simple truth. The best idea of all is education.
Over the past few years, Chevrolet has made a few changes. We've given you the InstaTrack 4x4 system, turbos to go quicker, an anti-lock brake system, and the highest mileage car in the country. So now Chevrolets are even more fun to drive, and so dependable they have a 660 warranty. As for how all those changes have affected Chevrolet, well, we're still America's best-selling cars.
The heartbeat of America. Chevrolet.
That's today's Chevrolet.
Again in the center of your screen, watch the left ankle on number 43, Wayne Shaw, the junior fullback on the specialty teams, as it gets crunched right there, and then inadvertently he'll also get peeled backwards. So while they're attending to Wayne over on the sideline, both teams are standing around. And Kevin, for Alabama, you take the opening kickoff, you march right down, you get a field goal, you lead 3-0, and suddenly there's a 5, 6, 7 minute delay. So emotionally for the Crimson Tide, you go a little bit flat. Conversely, for LSU, you haven't touched the football in almost 7 minutes, and you're anxious to get back into the hunt, maybe a little over anxious.
Well, for Guidry specifically, I think that one play, and it takes care of itself. Shaw, being an Alabama player, has got to be rather depressing for the Alabama people. That's their friend there, and believe it or not, you really don't get that caught up in the game that you don't notice that a guy like Wayne Shaw has been injured. A great running back in high school from Tullahoma, Tennessee, and 3,500 yards and was a fullback, backup fullback for Alabama, over 3,500 yards in high school, and a big special teams player for Alabama. And it looked like a pretty serious injury to the ankle. You're looking at Mickey Guidry. He'd like to get going, I'm sure. He's waited all week in most of his career, and he'd like to get rolling.
Well, you talk about the Bama players, about 8 of them have gone over, and there is Wayne leaving on a stretcher with that bad left ankle now. But a couple of the Crimson Tide, 7 or 8 of them, went over and shook hands and kind of patted him on the side there, as Bill Curry watches on the sideline and exhorting his defense now and trying to get him back into the ball game after a 8 or 9 minute delay.
Well, defensively, that makes you mad. If a player of yours, of course it was an accident, but it's a war out there and it makes you mad. And I think that the defense will react accordingly. When one of your guys goes off on a stretcher, what I always did, we'd get him back in the huddle and we'd say, hey, that could happen to any of us. Let's get out here and pound him. So any kind of incentive that Alabama can use, and I'm sure Wayne Shaw wouldn't disagree, to fight LSU in this game, they should use.
So here come the Tigers. First snap, first time they touch the ball. Wendell Davis wide to the left. McGee wide to the right, top of your screen. Guidry bends in, gives it off to Victor Jones, blocking around the right side by Alberganda and Packnett. Let's meet now the Crimson Tide defensively.
Defensive unit maybe gone a little bit unnoticed. Willie Wyatt, the leading tackler on the defensive unit at nose guard, which is a little strange. Derek Thomas, big play guy, took over Cornelius Bennett's spot. He'll move around, cause some problems. Gilbert, the better of the 2 inside linebackers. They do take chances, blitz quite a bit. Mangum's got 3 intercepts. Jelk's very fast, converted running back. The safeties are excellent. Kendrick is an all-SEC performer.
Harvey Williams, the tailback, cracks it up near the 36-yard line in the grasp of Greg Gilbert, the junior out of Decatur.
What you want, if you have a defense, is a nose guard that needs to be double-teamed. Albergamo and Andelsek, or that was Ruffin Rodrigue on the left side there, pushing him down, getting him down. That's what LSU will have to do tonight. When they do that, watch out for the cutback at the back of Wyatt.
3rd and 5. Flood formation to the left. Tony Moss, the sophomore, checks in. Guidry's first pass. Blitz is on. Picks it up. Fires incomplete at the 45. Looks for Wendell Davis, the senior leading receiver in the SEC. 3 plays and out for the Tigers. And Davis, with those bruised ribs, have to wonder about the play call, sending him over the middle on his first intended reception. Jelks popped him pretty good at the 42.
There's no point in playing a receiver if he's injured, if he can't do everything. Now Davis with a little hook. This ball is off, and really that's the cause of it. He exposed his ribs, maybe got a knee, as you see, right in the back. I'll tell you about injured ribs. I've had injured ribs a lot of times, and the longer you play, the better they feel. If you can get up and play, assuming you don't re-injure them or crack them, they just get very, very sore, but the more you go and expand them, they will get better during the course of the game.
And the ball is actually thrown behind Davis.
Watch the leg. Watch the defender. Watch the leg, the left knee, right in the side, right in the back rib. Now, I don't know that that's Wendell's rib that's injured, but very tough. When you stretch out, you expand your ribs, and when you get a leg in there, it'll really hurt you. This guy's tough, though. He's been coming back from the same injury all year.
He'll be back. He'll be back tonight. A little stop at the Sugar Bowl on the line. 4th and 5. So Matt DeFrank, there's what he's done, and Jelks is back deep. Averaging about 10.5 yards per kick return. Bama lines up, and they look like they're coming at Matt DeFrank. Partially blocked. Out of bounds at midfield. Well, Bill Curry talked yesterday about being over-prepared, and it was 55. Derek Thomas out of Miami, a 14-yard punt, and great field position for the Crimson Tide. Watch on the left side of your screen, Kevin.
All right, what Bill Curry talked about, what I talked about in the open, is studying your opponent, looking for weaknesses. And evidently, they felt they could beat this thing to the outside, and they did immediately. And Alabama now has the momentum, and that's just smart football, and it happened during the week. That's a bad punt. That was never blocked. It's a bad punt. The pressure got to him.
There goes Kerry Goode. Big hole left side down to the 50. He rambles for 10. Greg Jackson on the stop, but blocking by Bentley, 68, and Rose, 74, and Goode exploded through it. Kerry Good, 6'1", 200 pounds, out of Town Creek, Alabama. 1 touchdown on the year, averages just under 5 yards per carry. 5:43 left to go in the first quarter. Can't come much closer than that. By the width of the pole, they are shy.
I think I said a minute ago, Jim, that he didn't get the punt. Looked to me like he didn't get the punt. Freddie Godelli, our producer, reviewed it in the truck, and evidently he did get his hand on that punt and deflected.
Bobby Humphrey, 26, over on the sideline, has been absent since that first drive.
Take him out of the game, it presents a problem to the defense, because a lot of these guys are key and expecting Humphrey to be in there. And now you take him out and you wonder.
Cross and Epps as they go with a double tight. Go right in the backfield. Dunn just pushes it forward behind Roger Schultz. Darren Marlborough on the stop. They only needed an inch. First down for Alabama, 5:18 in the first quarter. LSU has only had the ball for 3 plays and then misfired on a punt.
And if you're an LSU fan and wondering about Tommy Hodson's availability, if they're in a pinch, I believe you'll see him, but he is definitely not at full strength.
Impressive on first down, almost 7 yards per try. They'll try again now. Good wide to the left. That's Pierre in the backfield. Brother Carey on the play action. Fake incomplete at the 23. James Pearson batted it loose. Dunn tried the square out to Kerry Good.
This is just great coverage, and Dunn's arm just not strong enough and maybe not there. Pearson, number 25, doing a nice job not only getting to the sideline but getting deep into the coverage. There's just nothing there. Dunn trying to force it in.
Dunn now 2 out of 5, 16 yards passing, and a good hit by James Pearson. Right. Humphrey checks back in now. He's in the tailback left side of your screen. Humphrey upended inside the 35, down to the 33 by Kevin Guidry. Guidry, 27, the senior out of Lake Charles, has played right cornerback, has played left cornerback, and will chase Humphrey most of tonight.
Now, Alabama has a tendency to run to the tight end, number 85, Cross. And LSU did not adjust back after Cross changed over, and you see the result. Great blocking at the corner. They were short a man. The defense was on that end, and Alabama just powering them out.
On 3rd and 4, Humphrey stays in at the tailback spot. They've got the reverse set up. Humphrey fakes it, keeps it. He's got the first down, and he's 1 man shy of a touchdown. Out of bounds at the 18-yard line. Pearson pushed him out. Another first down for Alabama in that offensive front. Bentley, Rose, Schultz, Condon, and Chapman really doing the blocking, taking command early.
First play of the game last week against Mississippi State. Alabama tried to reverse. It did not work. They know that LSU has seen the films. The fake freezes the defense for just a second, and then the speed of Humphrey outside, and you can see what it does. Alabama ready to play. The question has been whether or not these guys will be ready tonight, and they are ready.
Kevin Tommy Clapp checks back in defensively for the Tigers. 1st and 10, spotted at the 19. Kerry Good, Pierre Good. Out of bounds. Going east-west. Pearson stayed in his lane. Was not fooled.
Okay, Alabama definitely trying to go wide. They run the option look. They come back to Good because he's got the great speed. Oliver Lawrence gets blocked, but he does a good job stretching it out so Pearson can come and force him out of bounds. Now, Lawrence, most people see him get blocked, thinks he didn't do the job, but he kept him deep long enough for the rest of the defense to catch up.
Whitehurst and Battle are the wide receivers. They're both wide to the left. The tailback is Bobby Humphrey, 26. Dunn, left corner of the end zone, incomplete. Looking for Marco Battle, the sophomore out of Phoenix, Alabama. Dunn wants the flag. Pearson was back there on the coverage. Boy, James Pearson has been all over the field.
He wants if that was a penalty. Pearson bumped him while the ball was in the air. Watch 25. We'll see if we get it soon enough. To the left of your screen, right there with the arm. I could see it from up here. He definitely bumped him.
Was the ball catchable?
If he hadn't bumped him.
Incidental contact. Dunn, 2 out of 6, 16 yards, has missed his last 3. Stafford and Battler, the wideouts, both to the left side. A delay for Humphrey. inside the 15. Down to about the 13. Darren Marlborough has him there. They needed to get down to the 9 for the first down. Fourth down coming up. What will Bill Curry do? He'll talk it over and take a timeout. 4:36 left in the first quarter. Alabama taking the initial kickoff, going 52 yards and putting 3 points up on the board. Their second possession, they're in scoring range once again. So while the brain trust talks it over, we'll take timeout.
At Tuscaloosa Chevrolet, our customers are our best advertisements.
We've been doing business with Tuscaloosa Motor Company probably off and on for the 40 years that we've been in business.
My two grandfathers drove Chevrolet trucks, and after dealing here in Tuscaloosa with Tuscaloosa Motor Company, I can see why they stuck with Chevrolets through the years.
Buy a new Chevy S10 Blazer for as low as $89.95. Tuscaloosa Chevrolet, West Alabama's Chevy leader for over 55 years. Just ask our customers.
Out of the hold of Larry Abney. Philip Doyle, a 29-yarder on its way, and Alabama leads 6-0. 2 first quarter field goals. Alabama scoring on each of their 2 possessions for LSU. 3 plays and a punt. The last punt partially blocked, only traveled 14 yards and set up Alabama in great field position, Kevin, at the 50-yard line.
And Alabama taking it in. Before this game, we're taking it in for a field goal. Before this game, LSU had only given up 1 touchdown this year when a drive by the opposition started on the other side of the 50. That's an incredible statistic. Now, that's about as long a drive as they ever give up. But Alabama did not get into the end zone, and that's typical of the LSU defense. They bend, but they will not give you 6 or 7.
All right, partner, every Saturday, 11:30 Eastern Time, after Bino buys Brando breakfast, you can kick off your Saturday with college football game day. Timmy and Bino and Kerry Ross, and then, of course, next week we've got a big triple header. Number 6 Auburn against number 11 Georgia, or Syracuse, headed for a bowl themselves, taking on Boston College, who almost pulled off a big upset today. Kevin and I in Pittsburgh. The Panthers playing host to Joe Paterno and Penn State, and then Colorado State and San Diego State. Alan Ward is back, number 8. Freshman out of Pensacola, Florida. Sam Martin, Eddie Fuller. There's Sam Martin and Fuller trying to get Fuller. Hits at the 15, a little squib, and it goes out of bounds at the 5. So they'll back up Bama by 5. They want to get the ball in the hands of Sammy Martin, number 23.
Yeah, averaging almost 30 yards on kickoff returns. I don't blame him.
Well, you know Miami will win one way or the other. Tulane on top by 1. Memphis State. What a strange year they've had. Oregon has fallen behind early. No problem there. That's a final for San Jose State. Scores and highlights with Tim and Bino at halftime.
Now, this becomes a very dangerous play now for Alabama because Sammy Martin is as good an athlete as is on this team. And the reason they're lined up, one in front of the other in the eye back there at the kickoff, they've got Fuller in front, Martin in the back, because they don't want to kick. They don't want him kicking away from Martin. See that? Put him in an eye.
First year as the head coach at Alabama, replacing Ray Perkins, who's now the head coach at Tampa Bay. Boy, he inherited some kind of an office, didn't he? Oriental rugs, wood parquet on the floor. Here's Ward from the 30. They don't want Martin to touch the ball. The up back at the 28 to the 30. Good field position across the 35. Tony Houston took that football and a 10-yard return. So Mickey Guidry in his second series for the Tigers will try and get LSU on track. They've only had the ball for 3 plays. But they're only, Kevin, 1 play out.
What they want to do, Jim, is they'd like to run the option with Guidry, but they're looking for Alabama to go strong or weak, and they will run back to the weak side with the option, short side of the defense.
Wendell Davis is back in. This is Sammy Martin, and Sammy Martin cracks it across that right side. Trap blocking by Albergamo, Andolsek, Patnet, and Lee Osmond on the stop.
Now, this is what makes this team so dangerous. Guys like Martin, they've got Wendell Davis and Hodson and some great ones, but their linemen, too. You got Albergamo and Rodrigue opening a hole, and here comes Sammy Martin, number 23. Now, this guy, in my mind, is a very valuable player on this team. He can do it all. Great pass receiver, and as you see, a good runner.
McGee and Davis wide to your left side. On 2nd and 9, Sammy Martin tries to get it outside. Upended at the 46. Randy Rockwell has him there. 6'3", 207 pounds, redshirted back in '83. Knee problems during his entire career. Third and short coming up for the LSU Tigers. Davis checks in. Sam Martin started to come off. Now he goes back into the huddle.
Willie Bryant, Jim Corner for LSU, has gone out of the game. He's got a chip bone, and he will not be back tonight.
Boy, you've got single coverage on Davis down on the left side. Gidry got Davis, and Davis has a first down. One-on-one coverage. Osmond just gave him too much room.
You can't blame him. Again, one of the things that Davis has to deal with is accuracy. This is the second pass Gidry has attempted to him. This one's completed, but the accuracy not real great. Davis making the catch. Another difference between Hodson and Gidry. Hodson will hit you in the chest with it.
An 8-yard completion. The ball a little low, like in baseball. An indication you're hanging on to the ball a little bit too much. Gidry might be a little tight. Sammy Martin evades one, and then Derek Thomas lassos him at the 46. Derek Thomas, a backup receiver last year, 43 tackles on the year, 6'4", 222 out of Miami, a junior.
Tremendous athlete, has played the down line position. As you say, has been a receiver, has been a linebacker. Just a great athlete, a guy that took over for Cornelius Bennett, made quite an impact on the defense.
That was the first down of the ball game for LSU. 2nd and 9 coming up. Oh, huge hole. Inside the 40 goes Victor Jones out of Zachary, Louisiana. Robert Stewart on the stop. Rodrigue, Albergamo, Andolsek opened up a tremendous hole for Jones.
Need to talk about those guys. Albergamo, the strongest player on the team, number 56, the center. Some say the best center in the SEC, and there are some good ones. And Andolsek just huge, 275 pounds. And maybe Alabama a little bit undersized on that defensive line.
Jones slides over a step or two. Gidry, quick count, picks up the blitz, unloads over the middle, and he's got his man inside the 35. Davis on a square in. John Mangum on the coverage.
Gidry never changes his expression, even though you've got Derek Thomas breathing down your neck. Stands right in there like a veteran, like a pro. All that experience and helping him. Look at that. Look at that pressure and the accuracy. Hit him right in the chest that time, just like Tommy Hodson would have done.
At the 34. Moss now wide to the left. Might get a look. Gidry unloads to the tight end. In the 30. Halliburton bumped out at the 27-yard line. The crowd of close to 90,000 getting back into this football game here at Death Valley. Death Valley, Louisiana.
Yes, there are Death Valleys. Let's take another look at Derek Thomas. One of the things you have to do when you play over the tight end, you've got to hold him up. Better than that. Don't let him release that quickly, or he'll be in the pattern, and here's the result of it. Now, Brian Kinchin out with an injury. Halliburton, the backup when the season began, making the catch.
Gidry's now hit his last 3 passes. He goes with the audible. Gets back. Corralled from behind, but still fights forward down to the 23. Anthony Smith, the junior out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, on the stop.
There was an example of the maturity of Gidry. I talked about it earlier. He noticed that the defense was shifted to the wide side of the field, and Alabama, which jumps around a lot, did not shift after they came to the line of scrimmage. Gidry called that at the line of scrimmage. An option into to the short side, picked up the first down. A good call by Guidry and very well executed by LSU.
Rocky McGee wide to the right, commands single coverage, as does Wendell Davis wide to the left. Guidry with a hot hand gives it to Martin, who stutter steps down to the 20 in the grasp of Greg Gilbert, the junior out of Decatur. Gilbert, leading tackler last year, third leading tackler this year, also excels on the kickoff and punt coverage team. Out of Austin High School, where he played for Tom Calvin as an inside linebacker. Time has expired in the first quarter. Alabama, the two times they've had the ball, the field goals.
Mr. Smith and Mr. Jones are frequent travelers. Mr. Smith's room costs $45 a night. Mr. Jones pays only $27.95 at Budgetel. Both get big, spacious rooms, but Mr. Jones gets free satellite TV. Mr. Smith pays for local calls. Mr. Jones's calls are free at Budgetel. Mr. Smith lies awake wondering how to keep up with the Joneses. Mr. Jones falls sound asleep counting his savings. Budgetel. For reservations, call toll-free.
In communities across America, there's a working spirit. People working together with a feeling of pride. Where that feeling exists, there's Dickies Work Clothes. America, it still works. Dickies, the brand it works in. Dickies, made with Celanese Fortrell polyester.
My mom always made me feel better, no matter what.
My mom was easy to love.
My mom used to sing me to sleep at night. Sometimes I really miss that.
She's beautiful, my mom.
You should hold me and make it all better again.
My mother's the most gentle person I ever knew.
When was the last time you took a picture of your mom?
Come from working on Thailand Beach. Try to make some supper, but I can't even eat. Jump in the shower, watch the world from my back. Gotta get you, baby, that's a natural fact. In the nighttime, that's the right time. I wanna be with you in the nighttime.
The night belongs to Michelob.
There are lots of ways to pull for the U.S. Olympic team. The easiest is when you pull out your Visa card. Because whenever you use Visa, we'll make a donation to the team. So pull for the team. And if you go to the '88 Winter Olympics in Calgary, bring your camera and your Visa card. Because the Olympics don't take place all the time, and this time the Olympics don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
They're on their feet, almost 90,000 here in Baton Rouge. Boy, traffic was backed up about 3.5 hours to get down to the stadium. 2nd and 7. Moss wide to the right. Wendell Davis wide, top of your screen left. Victor Jones slides over a few feet. So does Sam Martin, and Guidry with the audible now, trying to pick up the blitz or not. No blitz, backpedaling. Guidry fires. He's got Davis. Incomplete. He was juggling the ball over on the far sideline.
They had Martin on the inside. They had Davis on the outside. Now, Martin, you'll see 23 at the center of your screen clearing it out. They're playing zone close to the goal line. And against Davis, who runs good patterns, it shouldn't work. He did juggle the ball, as Jim said, and went out of bounds.
Now it's 3rd and 7. Moss, number 80, wide to the right. In the slot, Davis. There goes Victor Jones keeping up again. Guidry with an audible again. They do a lot of check with me. Or check with Victor. Incomplete at the 4. Davis on a crossing pattern. Just couldn't hang on. Let's go back to what we talked about. The distraction of those bad ribs. Bumped on his first series.
Well, Jim, that's a good point on this play, because when you have to stretch, it'll get to you. He runs a good pattern. The ball is there. And maybe if he was healthy, he would have been able to lay out for this. But I've got a feeling he just can't stretch out as far as he would like. That was really a pretty well-thrown ball and a good pattern by Davis.
David Browndyke, 2 out of 3 between 30 and 39 yards. This a 37-yard line. Leonard Valentine, reserve quarterback, will hold for the sidewinder. A left footer is good. Tigers on the board on their second possession. So both defenses, Kevin Kiley, are bending but not breaking. A couple of field goals for Alabama and one for Browndyke and LSU.
This Alabama team, Jim, is coming of age, I think. The Memphis State loss sometimes, those losses that you have that you shouldn't have, and the pressure you get from the press and the fans, sometimes wake a team up, make them mature. They almost lost last week, but they were able to put that drive together. Dunn did not have a good game. They were able to put that drive together at the end of the game and come back and win the ball game. And I think that, coupled with the Tennessee win and the fact that they're going up against a great program and an undefeated team in the SEC here, and of course Phil Curry reminding them of all that, it's got Alabama up to play this game. LSU always comes to play, and we've got a battle.
Storyline, Baton Rouge. Phil Doyle, 2 field goals, total plays overwhelming. At one point it was 24-3. The Tigers were on the short end in total plays. Bobby Humphrey, 52 yards rushing early in the ball game, but no touchdowns. And average yards on first down, look at the difference. Alabama was at one point averaging 6.7 yards on first down. Kev?
And I believe the resurgence of the offense behind Guidry. He probably went and talked to Hodson on the sideline, kind of a role reversal. Tommy probably told him some of the things that were going on, and it helped him.
Kerry Good is back deep along with brother Pierre Good. This is Kerry at the 8. Upended at the 18, and you can see what a difference a couple of points make. The specialty teams ignited. Mike Mays, 24. There is Davis after that last pass, Kevin, fell incomplete at the 4.
What we talked about, stretching out, landing on the ground like that. If you don't re-injure them, you could come back. If you don't cause them to be worse, that pain is something that actually you can live with and you can get through the game with. If you do not crack them, worse.
There's Jeff Dunn, freshman. Starts at his own 18. He's 2 of 6. 16 yards. And he's in trouble at the 21. Eric Hill out of Galveston got there first as we go to the scoreboard. Barry Donahue and the Bruins.
That team's as good as any team in the nation. That UCLA team is excellent.
How do you figure Tulane?
I don't. I can't.
Texas by a field goal.
They're in that Southwest Conference race.
Jim Brock trying to get Notre Dame to the top. Ooh. Bobby Humphrey pulled it in at the 24. Eric Hill pulls him down. That was a dangerous pitch. That didn't have much on it.
LSU, the Tigers, are definitely overplaying the option to the outside. They don't want Humphrey to break loose. They're going to force Dunn to carry the ball. See, he's got plenty of room. He pitches that thing without any pressure. Everybody's outside already on Humphrey, and that is the defensive philosophy tonight for LSU and Hill. They want to cover Humphrey on the pitch, let Dunn run the ball inside.
Hill was ESPN's player of the game a year ago. LSU and Alabama. 3rd and 3. Humphrey the other way. First down and more at the 32. Blocking around that right side by Condon, 77, and John Frumorgan, who's replaced Terrell Chapman, 76.
The key to this play is the shift by the wing. Watch Sancho, 52. Now they've shifted the wing. They've got an outside man to hook him. And this is the toss sweep with a lot of strength. I mean, they're almost unbalanced to that side. That was Humphrey's feet going past him there. Now, Sancho has got to realize when they get a flex wing out there, he's got to loosen up a little bit, not get hooked.
We talked about the toss sweep. 6 times for 51 yards, averaging 8.5 yards per toss sweep. The other way, Humphrey, look out if he gets a block. Oh, a great tackle at the 27 by Tommy Clapp. If Clapp's not there to make the play, Humphrey turns the corner and is gone.
Yeah, Jim, but he is there, and this is just tremendous defense against the option. And what you're seeing here is Dunn's inexperience. He's got to take this ball up inside a couple of times, or Humphrey's got nothing. See how they have the contain out there? Hill goes down, but everybody's sitting at home, and Phillips lowering the boom on him. Humphrey is not going to make it on the option tonight. Not wide. Not if LSU can help him.
2nd and 14. Spotted at the 27 of Bama. Schultz, the center, doing quite a job along with Bill Condon. And Good, you saw the explosiveness there for the 6'1", 200-pound senior.
It's the strength of that offensive line. Condon, who's had numerous injuries. Schultz, who was not supposed to start tonight. Mike Zuger was back from an injury. And then Larry Rose, who's the best offensive lineman. And they just blew him out on that play.
3rd and 1. First down, Alabama. Bo Wright. Stopped by Pearson. Boy, the battle going on in the trenches. Tremendous fight.
And neither one of these teams are very, very physical teams. Don't have a lot of strength, but they match up very well. They're very, very equal. They're the type of teams that, you know, against the Nebraska or a big, strong team, they may be at a disadvantage, but against each other, they are not at disadvantage.
Good comes wide to the left along with Clay Whitehurst. Out of the I-Pro set, Allen and Good are the running backs. That's Pierre Good in motion. Dunn. He's got Whitehurst. And James Pearson has Clay Whitehurst at the 47.
Tremendous weak side defense there. Oliver Lawrence staying home, getting his hands up on Dunn, and then Pearson staying home at the weak corner. They did complete the pass. A good offensive play, but here's Lawrence. Now watch Lawrence get wide. 99, he's going to come wide. And there he is. Keeping Dunn from getting all the way out. They do complete the pass, but Pearson covering up on the backside. Even though they completed a good job by the Tigers.
Whitehurst at the top of your screen. Pearson on single coverage. 2nd and 5. Pierre Good motion. Dunn the other way. Will pull it back down. Dives to the 48. Nicky Hazard has him there along with Darrell Phillips.
You would think that Dunn, number 7, would be the perfect quarterback to run the option. He was a defensive player in high school. He has that defensive mentality. He's like a linebacker. He just wants to go out there and pound people. And, of course, he's stationary most of the time. That's the guy you want to run the option. Turn it up there and lower your head and knock some people over.
Some help. Out of bounds at the 45-yard line. Pearson pushed him out of bounds.
That'll be a first down, Jim, and what a play by the young freshman. Showed a lot of speed. LSU defended it perfectly, but that's that extra guy again, the quarterback. And when he gets loose, there's nobody watching him.
The poise of the freshman. We pointed out he was a safety in high school before he turned to a quarterback.
A bad game last week. Last drive, he wakes up, bang, right down the field. They win the game. Show him his son.
Now he wakes up here in Death Valley. 1st and 10 from the 45. Wants it all on the post. Looks downfield. Incomplete and no flag. Marco Battle, that was close.
No, it wasn't. It was a penalty. Should have been a penalty. That wasn't close at all.
Some oohs and ahs from the almost 90,000. What do you think? Kevin Guidry, did he pull him down?
I don't know what else you'd call this unless I'm blind. What do you think?
Tough to tell from that angle.
Yeah, thank you.
No, I thought from the way we looked at it.
Well, I've seen it twice now, and I think he pulled it down.
From that angle, you couldn't tell. Dunn is 3 out of 8, 20 yards passing. But from up here, it looks like Gary Good. He's down to the 36-yard line. Darren Marlborough has him there. That offensive line of Alabama, Condon and Boomerang over that right side for Good.
Alabama's done a lot of things in it. They're really freezing the inside backers. They come up right away. They don't come up. They stand up right away. They don't come up to the line of scrimmage. And you can see how 90 and 74, Hazard, Marlborough just get blocked and Good runs the ball in there. Now they've got to react and they've got to understand what they're looking at immediately and make some kind of a charge. And they're just going to be some ducks.
Good, 5 carries, 33 yards. Go right. Evens up. Humphrey is back in at the tailback. He's got the ball. And the Tigers have Humphrey. He needed to get to the 35. Oliver Lawrence, number 99, the junior, 6'1", 238. Played as a true freshman, 21 tackles out of Monroe, Louisiana on the stop. the first to get there. Highly sought after out of Neville High School.
He's played very well. 99. Just burying his head, shedding a blocker, going down to his knees, which you're not supposed to do, but doing the job anyway. Good play by Lawrence.
A 53-yard field goal try. The longest for Doyle, 52 yards against Memphis State. Snap is high, pulled down, line drive, no good. Doyle was perfect in the first quarter. Staked Alabama to a 6-0 lead. And Jimmy Young might have got a hand on the football. Watch number 5, Jimmy Young. See if he deflects the ball. We'll take time out.
Go over Jeep Cherokee's advantages, and certain things stand out. Cherokee gives you a choice of 2 or 4 doors, 2 shift-on-the-fly 4-wheel drive systems, and an optional 4-liter 6-cylinder engine that's more powerful, far more powerful than anything in its class. But perhaps Cherokee's single biggest advantage is the simple fact that it's a Jeep.
7 years ago, McNeil Hospital was perceived as a sick institution. Part of the cure was a new information system.
We chose IBM. Our relationship with IBM has been very much a partnership.
Check first.
We depend on their equipment and their software 24 hours a day, 7 days a week.
The computer has freed the nurse from doing paperwork to doing patient work.
Oh, I like that smile. Isn't that a nice smile? You're in good shape, kid.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football is being brought to you by Jeep. There's a feeling you can get only in a Jeep. By Tempstar, the newest name in home heating and air conditioning. You can rely on the Star. And by IBM. A 17-yard pass completion from Mickey Guidry has moved the ball to the 46-yard line. We missed one play. 7:58 left to go first half. Harvey Williams inside the 40, slithers down to the 38-yard line. Needs another 2 yards for a first down.
Great battle going on in the middle. Albergamo 56 and Wyatt number 98. Nacho gets his hands on him and hooks him. Wyatt nowhere to go by the time he pulls himself loose from the wrestling match. It's gone. That's going to go on all night. Great matchup. 2 excellent players.
Alvin Lee replacing Wendell Davis. Slotted out wide to the left. Williams. Where you saw just a little opening, Kevin. And the great vision by Harvey Williams.
We haven't seen too much of Williams, Jim, because Martin played in the early stages again. Albergamo and Wyatt. And what Williams will do, he'll come right off the right shoulder of Albergamo. Number 12 was him right there, left shoulder. He buries the whole middle. Williams finds the hole, and that's what they do. You don't run the holes anymore. You find the holes, and then you run through.
3 carries, 18 yards for Harvey Williams. Guidry. He's got Wendell Davis inside the 13. A 19-yard pickup for the SEC's leading receiver.
Let's get this one to Mickey Guidry. It's a zone. It's a double zone here. They've got short and deep on Davis. Deep guy never gets there, and Guidry just threads the needle perfectly to Wendell Davis, who you may remember was sitting on the bench a little while ago in obvious pain, but he's back in there.
And he's wide to the right at the bottom of your screen. Top of the screen, Tony Moss, number 6. There goes Williams. The hole didn't develop, and Williams still manages to surge forward inside the 10, down near the 9.
Strikes me in this game, Jim, is the similarity between these two teams. The balance on the offense and the defense, how they stretch, and then they get down to the goal line and they get very tough. It's very difficult to tell the teams apart at this point.
What strikes me, partner, is the poise of LSU. There have been 24 plays run off by Alabama, only a 6-0 lead to just 3 plays by the Tigers. Since that point, it's been all LSU, but they still trail by 3. Driving for the touchdown. Guidry gives the ball off to Victor Jones. Touchdown, LSU! Browndyke for the extra point to increase the Tigers' advantage. Out of the hole of Leonard Valentine. The side one from the left side bangs it through. The first touchdown of the ball game. And the unbeaten Tigers of LSU. Do they have a line to the Sugar Bowl? Lots of time left.
The Great American Face. Strong, sensitive. The Great American Razor. Atra Plus. Solid. With the Luber Smooth Strip for extra protection. The Great American Face deserves the Great American Shave. Atra Plus. Only from Gillette.
With an optional 4-liter monster under its hood, Jeep Comanche doesn't just stand apart. It stands alone.
Now get $500 factory cash back on all new Jeep Comanches.
I can't breathe.
Before and Afrin.
Better.
What Afrin does in 5 minutes takes Sudafed over an hour.
Blocked.
Before and Afrin.
Unblocked.
It's the #1 recommended nasal spray.
Unbelievable golf. The Isuzu Kapalua International beginning Wednesday on ESPN.
Talked about offensive tackle Kenny Davidson replacing Jim Ubix. Watch 77 left side of your screen. He's played defensive end, tight end. Look at the physical ability of this line. 3 guys pulling out to lead the ball carrier into the end zone, blowing out the Alabama defense.
So for the first time tonight, Kevin, the Tigers are on top by 4 after falling behind 6-0 on a couple of Phil Doyle field goals. Ron Lewis, number 8, the senior out of New Orleans. He'll kick it away to either Kerry Good, 35, or Pierre Good, number 2. It is high, it is end over end, and it is Kerry Good. And his brother Pierre says, not this time. 70 total yards for the Tigers this quarter, 40 for Alabama after Crimson Tide owned quarter number 1. Whitehurst comes out wide to the left. Pierre Good, top of your screen. And the tail of the tandem, number 26, Bobby Humphrey. Doug Allen is your fullback. Humphrey behind Allen's block. Boy, you saw the balance right there. There was nowhere to go. Greg Jackson on the hit.
What a job by Darrell Phillips. Now watch Darrell Phillips, number 62, ride this play. This is a toss sweep. Now watch him catch the center. Watch him go out, and then he's going to come back on the cutback, keeping his feet. What a great job. He's in there somewhere, coming back from the backside. Nice job by Darrell Phillips. It's exactly what you need to do. Get in front of him.
By Good on 2nd and 8. The fullback, low right. And a penalty flag dropped at the 25-yard line. Oliver Lawrence drops right.
Holding on Alabama, Jimmy, and penalties. See Bill Curry's a little upset. Penalties. Last 3 games, Alabama has had 9, 9, and 10 penalties in a game. They're averaging 53 yards a game in penalties. Zuga, 53, now in at center. He's been injured. He had a dislocated elbow, but doesn't seem to be bothering there as he hooks Phillips. And down he goes. That's the same guy that rode the play outside. I guess they didn't want him to ride in that one.
2 penalties, 15 yards against Alabama, no penalties against the Tigers. Line of scrimmage now, the 12 at 2nd and 20. Good and right in the backfield. Motion by brother Pierre Good. Done. Whoops, Whitehurst got it at the 25. Whitehurst came in, 13 catches, 239 yards, averaging about 18 yards and 2 touchdowns.
Pressure from LSU. He knows he has to cut the thing off quickly. Dunn reads the same thing, and they throw the ball. The ball had no chance of staying on his feet to make that catch.
Whitehurst kind of looked around. There goes Zuga, injured on that last play. Whitehurst looked around and said, wait a minute, where are the defenders? Nobody hit me. 3rd and 5. Freshman Dunn back pedals quickly and pull it down. Middle open, and now closes quickly. And at the 28-yard line, the nose guard, Darrell Phillips. Played all of 86, Phillips did, except the game against Kentucky when he was out with a bad hand. 4 quarterback sacks on the year, made the tackle secure there, a punting situation. So Jimmy Young, number 5, goes back deep along with Jackson, 35, and Chris Moore, averaging about 40 yards per kick. Drills one to Jimmy Young. Young carrying the ball a little loosely. Falls up near the 38-yard line. A 41-yard kick, a 7-yard return. Tigers lead the Tide by 4 when we come back.
By virtue of its many refinements, Jeep Wrangler is a wonderful companion around town. But in its heart, Wrangler is no beast of burden. Wrangler's purpose is not just to serve man, but also to set him free.
Sorry.
We're not a company, but outstanding people come to us every day. People who want to make a contribution to a team and do work that really counts. People eager to see new places, do the unusual, and find the unusual. People who become your friends for life. People just like you. We're not a company. We're your country. We're the Navy, the Air Force, the Marines, the Army. We're the armed forces. It's a great place to start.
Along with Kevin Kiley, I'm Jim Kelly, and welcome back to Baton Rouge, and the campus of LSU, Tiger Stadium, otherwise known as Death Valley. But Kevin, this is Death Valley, Louisiana. Some folks at Clemson, who are very happy over their big win today, say that that's the original home of Death Valley.
I wouldn't argue with either Death Valley. I think I did the Clemson package in 1983. I can't remember how loud it actually was, but I guarantee it wasn't much louder than this, if it was at all. These people can scream. We're headed to Clemson later in the year. We'll find out.
3:52 left to go before halftime. Tigers reversing that 4-point lead. Guidry with a good drive the last time the Tigers had the ball. Pitches back, Sammy Martin. Thought about dribbling it. And how often do you see that? The broken rhythm where the defense thinks something's going to happen. They just delay for a fraction of a second. Sammy Martin pulled it back down, and he was gone.
Well, they put everybody over there, Jim. They had 3 receivers, and then Martin left. And you're right, the hesitation here, he sets up his own. Well, he had to hesitate. He dropped the ball, but you see Wyatt go down. He set up his own block. The outside people got sucked in. And Martin, who I think, as I said earlier, is a very dangerous player going for a first down.
A 12-yard pickup, and there's what Sam has done so far this evening. Slot to the right. Davis outside. Martin. First down at the 35-yard line. Randy Rockwell bumped him out of bounds.
And they isolate him on Rockwell. Rockwell, an excellent player, a smart player, but not good in the open field. And they know they've got a problem out here. Number 57, a great leader, the leader of the defense. He inspires them, but he's one-on-one on a very quick, very elusive player. And this is the result of it.
So the line of scrimmage, the 35, just outside the 35. Victor Jones, who has the touchdown. Loose football at the 30-yard line. Alabama says they've got it. Randy Rockwell, you talk about him being the leader, hampered by injuries most of his career with Alabama out of Daphne High School. For W.C. Majors, his coach.
50-year senior, not good in the open field, but boy, he does all right on the backside here. That's a picture-perfect hit on Martin, who is separated from the ball. Nice-looking kid. He's too good to be a linebacker. Using that face for tackling.
Spoken by a former linebacker for the Cowboys of Wyoming. And several pro teams, and you won't find him in their book. Bobby Humphrey. Inside Tiger territory at the 47. Oliver Lawrence. touchdown.
A couple of things happen on this play. First, Eric Hill, fine outside linebacker for LSU. He's down the road here. He meets the block, but Humphrey comes right by him. And then the LSU secondary does a smart thing. They don't chase Humphrey. They wait for him. He has no place to run. Watch Guidry back here towards the middle. Waiting for him with Lawrence in pursuit, able to hold him, not going for a touchdown.
1st and 10 after that 22-yard pickup. Humphrey again doesn't even get a rest. Down at the 45 where Greg Jackson has him there. We're talking about Oliver Lawrence, who made the tackle on the last play. He's been moved from outside linebacker to inside linebacker. Now, you've played linebacker. What's the difference? Outside, inside. It doesn't sound like much of an adjustment, but totally different responsibilities.
Yeah, it's a lot different. You have to be a more physical player on the inside, Jim. You have to be able to go both ways. Usually one shoulder or the other is better when you play outside. You can play better with the left shoulder in or the right shoulder in.
Humphrey, 14 carries, 85 yards. Kerry Good checks back in. Dunn, airborne on 2nd and 7. Unloads, found his man at the 42. And a first down at the 36-yard line. Howard Cross, the tight end out of New Hope, Alabama, 6'6", 232. He wasn't the primary receiver, Kevin.
No, Dunn's doing a good job finding second people, and he's getting time because they're running play action. They run play action and sprint about equally. Lawrence, thinking it might be run, stays at the line of scrimmage. And the result is that Dunn has that extra time and finds a secondary receiver. That's the value of play action against the defense.
Dunn, 5 of 10, 41 yards. Good-looking drive for the Crimson Tide. Pierre Good motions near side. Bobby Humphrey, maybe 1 yard. Greg Jackson, the junior strong safety out of Miami, on the stop.
Changed up the force there. Jackson had the force. They handed it off deep. He recognized the play immediately. And one of the problems with the eye is it takes a long time to develop, get to the line of scrimmage. Jackson just closed down and made the play. You're talking about outside, inside linebacker before. Inside linebacker, they come at you from all directions. A lot of different blocks from a lot of different angles. Outside linebacker, there's usually not much going on outside. You have to worry about the inside.
Was that an impressive graphic? 12 yards more for Bobby Humphrey than the total rushing offense of LSU. Good comes at you. 2nd and 8, Dunn, slow developing play, dances out of it, needs a block, quick feet. Nicky Hazard, out of New Orleans, the senior, 6'1", 219 pounds. One of the team captains. Started the first 4 games and the last 4 last year, missed the rest with injuries.
Eric Hill, great athletic ability, forced him out of the pocket. This defense has a lot of pride, and they chase him down. Now watch Hazard after he makes this play, number 48. Not real fast. He gets help from Guidry. Now watch Hazard. Take this all away, guys. Hazard jumps up and talks to him. A little late. We got to go to the next play. But boy, he was telling him what it's all about. There it is, right there. Good shot.
3rd and 10 from the 36. Middle's wide open and picked off at the 25. Darren Marlborough. Marlborough's first interception on the year. He had 2 fumble recoveries. He missed all of 85 with a knee injury. Was given comeback player of the year last year out of John Curtis High School.
And this is a freshman mistake. Dunn walks back. Watch his head. He never takes his head off the center of the field. Look at him. He's looking in the center of the field. Then he throws it. And Marlborough, the experienced linebacker, he's a senior. He's watching the eyes of the quarterback. He takes forever to get back. Marlborough just sitting there picking it off. Good defense.
1 turnover for each team. We've got 28 seconds to go be halftime. Bama trails by 4.
Panasonic, the future of office automation. Advanced equipment with an extraordinary concept. The easier, the better. Panasonic offers solutions to your special computer problems. High-speed microprocessors, high-resolution monitors, and high-performance printers, which make them a very easy choice. Panasonic Office Automation.
Now at Advanced Business Machines, 3801 Greensboro Avenue.
You can count on Green Track.
In the past 10 years, Green Track winners have carried home over $600 million in big payoffs.
Count on Green Track for fast action with a race every 15 minutes.
Count on Green Track for more ways to win with high payoff wagers like the Twin Trifecta and Superfecta.
And count on that same friendly welcome as always.
Green Track is your track. You know you can count on us.
Racing nightly at 8 except Sunday. Matinees, Wednesdays, Fridays, and Saturdays.
Minimum age 18.
Welcome back to Death Valley, Louisiana. Guidry, 6 out of 8, 73 yards, has hit 3 in a row for 52 yards. Filling in for Tommy Hodson, filling in quite amply. Thank you very much. Guidry gives the ball out to Victor Jones. He's at the 37-yard line with 22 seconds left in the first half. Kevin, do you think Guidry will be given the green light now to put it up, go deep?
Well, we talked about that in the break. I think in former field position, no, but they just called timeout. So I think they're definitely going to think about, the LSU people are going to think about whether they want to go up on top now. 13-yard pickup by Jones, the line of scrimmage, the 38. Guidry will talk things over. So we'll take timeout. Unbeaten LSU leading Alabama 10-6.
Wow.
It was reliability brought down to earth. A new high-efficiency gas furnace that is so advanced it seems almost simple. The 9580GF from Tempstar.
Call toll-free for your nearest Tempstar dealer.
Balance. It is stability based on planned diversity. Rockwell International's continuous growth results from a balance of businesses. Outstanding performance in electronics, aerospace, automotive, industrial automation, and general industries. Rockwell International, down-to-earth management and opportunities as limitless as space.
Former college football player Charles Reed.
When I graduated from high school in Western Pennsylvania, it was a football scholarship that allowed me to go on to earn my bachelor's and doctorate degree at the George Washington University. Without those degrees, my career would not have been the same. That's why I'm committed to seeing that our athletes graduate on time, because education is what universities are all about.
The preceding brought to you by the College Football Association.
Head coach Bill Curry, who reminds his troops you never lose unless you accept it. On 1st and 10 from the 38-yard line, the Tigers leading by 4.
Don't say that,
Guidry has all day. Out of bounds in the direction of McGee, but he just threw that one away. Interesting play call now. You've got a quarterback in a substitute situation. You're rolling out. There's a penalty flag down at the 42, by the way. There's what Mickey has done tonight. But you've got your quarterback. He's not really into the flow quite yet. Rolling to the left, throwing back against his body. Why not allow him to set up on the feet, give it the good test?
I think they're looking for time, probably a deep crossing pattern. That way on the field. They wanted to go right to left with their receiver, and they wanted to buy him time. Dirk Thomas came hard from the corner, and they did block him, the LSU people, so that's probably the reason.
No. Ineligible receiver downfield, 5 yards against the offensive team.
The first penalty of the evening on LSU. So it's 1st and 15 from the 33, 15 seconds left to go. Tigers have 1 timeout left, and Alabama with 2. Moss and Lee are the wide receivers. Guidry, a little delay to Victor Jones. And Jones, with lots of room, as Bama was anticipating pass, breaks it to midfield and down to the 49. An 18-yard pickup with 7 seconds left. And LSU will take their final timeout. Well, don't forget, NFL Game Day. Previews of all the games action coming up. Pre-game analysis. And it's Chris Berman, Pete Axum, and Tom Jackson. A 1-hour preview. Then at 7 o'clock, Chris, Pete, and Tom are back for NFL Prime Time. But, of course, tomorrow night, We're all very happy at ESPN because the NFL comes to ESPN as the Patriots of New England take on the defending Super Bowl champion Giants, 8 o'clock Eastern time. A great package. Mike Patrick, Roy Firestone, and Larry Zonka in the booth tomorrow night. Scores and highlights with Tim Brando coming up next. Another long day for Tim, because on College Day it all starts with game day, 11:30 Eastern time.
Okay, look for something outside here and out of bounds, and something quick. They've only got 7 seconds if they want to set up a field goal.
Well, watch at the bottom of your screen right there, number 82, standing on the 50. That is Wendell Davis. Now Alabama will take a timeout.
Yeah, they took timeout because they had single coverage out here, or what appeared to be single coverage on Davis. And I think Bill Curry realized maybe he better look at this again. He's bringing his entire defense over there. If you're playing defense in this situation, you want to keep it in the middle of the field. First down will stop the clock, but they'll never have time to set up and make the field goal. So you want to keep it in the middle, guard against the sideline, a quick about 10 or 15-yard pattern, and leave it in 1 second. So lean to the outside, force it inside.
And if on those shots at the sideline, Bill Curry looks a little bit thinner than he did when he played in the NFL, he now takes a health sandwich to lunch and munches throughout the day on nuts and raisins. Influences on Bill Curry. How about the great Vince Lombardi?
And Shula, he played for Lombardi, played for Shula, was in 3 Super Bowls, won 2 of them. I indicated at the head of the show he felt like that he was overmatched. He was not a big player, about 235, 240. Played against Dick Butkus, and he used to look for Butkus's weaknesses. You're never defeated unless you accept it. Whether you lose or not, you go on to the next week, you don't accept. You never give up on a player, even though he might have a bad game. You hang with him. Bill Curry does it.
And it was Shula who did not give up, as Kevin said, on Bill Curry. Guidry unloads, caught at the 40-yard line, and then hammered out of bounds. Davis on a comebacker with 5 seconds used up on that play. Jelks on the hit after a 9-yard pickup. And Jelks knows that Davis's ribs are banged up. And if he gets a chance to make a clean hit, to really stick it to 82, he will.
Yeah, he also knows they're going to go outside. As I said, a 10 to 15-yard pattern. Everybody there, and I knocked Guidry's accuracy early in the game. Nothing wrong with that pass.
Alabama takes a timeout. Davis has spent a lot of time over on the sideline, bruised ribs. Now Ron Lewis, the senior out of New Orleans, will come in and apparently try a field goal. There's one of the flags. Kind of a swirling wind. Not really an advantage or a disadvantage. The spot will be at the 48-yard line. So you tack on the 10 of the end zone, and this will be a 58-yard field goal try.
Go back to the 30-yard line and start running. If I was Ron Lewis, try to get a good running start on this one.
Well, there is Ronnie, the senior out of New Orleans, 5'11", 165, but a great leg. He holds the school record, which is 54 yards against North Carolina. He kicked that one back in 1985. So if he hits this one from 58, a brand new record. And a 7-point Tiger lead. Leonard Valentine is a quarterback. He'll put it down. Valentine can also throw. So he gets up quickly. Might be the pick. A 58-yarder. Lewis will need it all. On its way. It's end over end, and it's short. And time has run out in the first half. Alabama led quickly. 2 Phil Doyle field goals. Put the Crimson up 6-0. But LSU ran off 10 unanswered points. They lead at halftime by 4. Tim Brando and scores and highlights coming up.
You bet, Jim and Kevin. Thank you very much. And it's a good one we've got underway with the Southeastern Conference title perhaps at stake, particularly should LSU come away with a victory tonight against Alabama. This is our halftime scoreboard, and we've got a lot to tell you about, including tomorrow's headlines. And those headlines are the Sooners dealt a devastating 1-2 combination blow today, even though they won. The Seminoles take no prisoners. That was a massacre today on the Plains. And the Irish fight back. 20 unanswered points today for Lou Holtz's club, and we've got a new passing king in college football. Those are tomorrow's headlines, and we'll explain further a bit later. Let's update you now on some of the scores that are going on tonight that are not as yet complete. The Houston Cougars trying to pull the upset over the Longhorns. 13-10 the score now. That is late in the second quarter. Washington and Arizona. Art Greathouse, a 17-yard touchdown run. It's 10-0 now for Arizona. Arizona State, Alan Zendejas, 3 field goals in this game, and the Sun Devils lead in Tempe. Tulane and Mississippi State, Mark Zeno and Terrence Jones, that pass-catching combination for Mac Brown has an 8-point lead. Fresno State and Cal State Fullerton are scoreless. That game now in the first quarter. And Utah State, New Mexico State. Right now, it is 9-0 in that football game in the first. We've got a lot more to tell you about, including the parties involved in that 1-2 combination blow that we mentioned in tomorrow's headlines. The Boomer Sooners, #1, but for how long? We'll get to all of that as our halftime scoreboard continues. The Fighting Tigers of LSU lead the Tide by 4 in Death Valley.
Welcome back to Death Valley, Louisiana. Now, this is not LSU and Alabama. This is Louisiana University against Georgia University. And you can see this game at a theater near you. They're making a movie set in the 1950s. And you're going to see Dennis Quaid in a blue jersey here come busting through. There's about 3 takes, right? A little bit of Hollywood that they filmed before halftime.
Well, Jessica Lange's in this movie, too. How do you know that's not Jessica Lange running for
If that's Jessica Lange, she should renegotiate her contract.
I like the high top.
Also, Dennis Quaid was huffing and puffing, looked like you and I in the basketball court after the 3rd take. But there it is. That could be the end of the movie, right? They had people dressing up. There are a lot of the extras, the movie extras. And what they did, it was interesting because they rehearsed this last night. They gave the movie company about 3 minutes at halftime. They even had to rehearse the 3-minute Sugar Bowl 57 part, and that's when the movie was set.
That's what it's going to be. And they asked all the fans, all 80,000 of them here at LSU, to dress up in their 50s costume. Jim did. I didn't. And
I don't know about your tie's not so hot. Also, what they tried to do, they got the PA announcer to get the crowd. He said, for the Alabama fans, just sit back and imagine you guys are beating Auburn. Well, Alabama was beating LSU 6-0 on 2 Phil Doyle field goals early and had a commanding lead as far as plays from scrimmage, 24 to just 3. LSU 3 plays and a punt. Then the Tigers, behind backup quarterback Mickey Guidry, got on track. They put a field goal on the board, and then Victor Jones rambled for 9 yards. 10-6, and that's where we are at halftime.
I think both these teams, Jim, have really lived up to their personality. Alabama's defense, which has been pretty good all year, has been pretty good in this game. They got pushed around on 1 drive. LSU got a touchdown. LSU's defense bending, but not breaking. And Guidry has shown that this team is really a running team now with Guidry in there. They have outrushed where they usually outpass instead of outrush with Hodson in there in the first half. They've outrushed the passing game. LSU more of a running team in the first half.
Though Guidry did hit 3 passes in a row for 52 yards. You were talking about the LSU defense. How do they stack up? I mean, the technique of the defense for the Tigers.
Well, Pete Jenkins is one of the great defensive coordinators here at LSU, and the system that they use is the same system I used in college. It's a hands-on defense. It's something where you want to get your hands on the offensive people and keep them away from you. And Sancho, the outside linebacker, is one of the best at this. Now, the difference is sometimes you have outside responsibility and sometimes you have inside responsibility. On this particular play, Sancho has outside responsibility. See how he gets his hands on Cross, pushes him to the inside, and gets in on the tackle on Humphrey. On this next shot you're going to see, he has more of an inside responsibility. And watch him work inside out with his hand. Takes tremendous strength in the upper body to do this, and a lot of weights in the offseason. Now here's Sancho pushing Cross to the outside and working his way inside, and that usually means that the safety or the corner has outside responsibility. Great technique by an excellent player, Ron Sancho, and in fact the LSU team is a technique defense and does an excellent job, as evidenced here in the statistics for the first half. As you see, the rushing stats I think is a key for LSU. 103 yards rushing. They outrushed the passing yardage, 79 yards. Usually they pass for about 249 a game, and they rush for about 207. So you can see they have become more of a running team. Alabama has done well also, as you see, but they have not passed that well. Dunn had not a great passing first half. Total yards about even. Time of possession well in favor of Alabama. I can't believe that that's correct. Alabama over LSU, those 2 statistics. But the game is about even, 10-6, and we're about ready to start the second half. Jim?
Of course, it's not how long you've got the ball, but what you do with it when you've got it. And LSU punched it in for the touchdown. Alan Ward sends a line drive kick back deep to Sammy Martin, 1 yard deep, across the 20. And he explodes to the 25-yard line, where Woody Wilson, number 36, had him there, a 27-yard return. So the Tigers nursing that 4-point lead. In command, 10-6. Start the second half with Guidry. A good first half for the backup. the junior out of Gretna, Louisiana. Spread it around a little bit. He was 7 of 10 for 79 yards. Davis caught 4. Egloff caught 1. Sam Martin caught 1. And Jones with a touchdown run. Eddie Fuller, the sophomore from Leesville, Louisiana, 5'11", 200 pounds. A career rushing average of 6.5 yards per carry for that man, number 33.
One of the linebackers for Alabama, freshman Steve Raymer, is not here tonight. He left the team on Monday and has not reported back to the team. That's a look at him, a young engineering student, wanted to do well in school. Pressure apparently a little bit too much for him. Coaches wish him well and hope that he comes back soon.
There goes Fuller. And he's around the left side. Mike Smith made the tackle on Fuller. Of course, the loss of Raymer affects the depth of Alabama defensively.
Well, certainly at linebacker, Jim, because they weren't that strong at linebacker to begin with. He was a starter along with Greg Gilbert, and they get pretty thin in there. And Curry puts, I think, the human factor always ahead of football. And as I said earlier, they wish him well. They hope he comes back and plays, but they want him to be comfortable and do what's right for Steve Raymer.
Guidry, now 8 of 11 passing, approaching midfield at the 48.5-yard line, finds the SEC's leading receiver, Wendell Davis, for 13 more.
The LSU fans that really worried about playing 2 quarterbacks early in the season, I'd like you to take note of the timing here that only comes with playing. A great timing pattern from Guidry to Davis, the great receiver. Had he sat on the bench all year and not gotten any playing time, he wouldn't be able to produce a play like that. Speaking of Mickey Guidry.
Eddie Fuller. Again, he starts the second half. He's fresh up near the 47. Philip Brown, the senior out of Birmingham, redshirted back in '84, 6'3", 221 on the stop.
They move Wyatt, 98, over to the strong side. They've set 3 receivers there. They create an angle for Albergamo, who takes advantage of it. This is a counter play, and as you can see how well it works, Wyatt in an impossible situation, probably thinking about that right now because he went to the strong side in the gap.
Guidry reads it, unloads, misfires, looking for Davis down at the 35. Back on the coverage, the sophomore out of McGee, Mississippi, John Mangum. Derek Thomas, 55, the junior from Miami, putting pressure on Guidry, and he unloaded quickly.
Mangum's their best cover guy, and he did a nice job on a pretty good receiver. I guess you got to feel lucky if you play against that guy when he's got bad ribs. I'd hate to see him at full speed.
Jordan got the, or Mangum got the Leroy Jordan Headhunter Award after the spring practice. Self-explanatory. Third and 7. Pressure by Thomas again, and Guidry reads it and unloads, incomplete. Looking for Davis again. Guidry on the backside, and Thomas the first to arrive. Thomas has to fill some large shoes, replacing the departed All-American and Lombardi Trophy winner Cornelius Bennett.
A super athlete, a little small to be rushing the passer, 222 pounds from a down lineman position, but you can see the great speed. He goes right around the block of Halliburton and gets there a little bit late.
There is Matt DeFrank, just the one punt, partially blocked for 14 yards. Jelks is back deep. He averages 10.5 yards per return. This one is end over end. Jelks with a fair catch at the 16, and his momentum carries him about a yard forward. A 32-yard punt. 12:52 left to go. Crowd got a little quiet after the Tiger drive went nowhere, but now they'll get back into it as the LSU defense comes back out on the field along with the Alabama offense.
And the Alabama defense did a nice job. Just as I talked about Guidry and a timing pattern to Davis, he threw 2 passes that were obviously ill-timed. Big series for Alabama. They need to stay close in this game, keep the crowd out of it.
From the 16, motion by Bowers, will go the other way. There goes Bobby Humphrey. Cracks over the right side, blocking by Schultz and Condon, and Darren Mulbro on the stop.
Talked about technique and defensive technique at the half. Pete Jenkins. Watch Phillips try to keep his shoulders square, meet the block, see him using his hands, and then work his way down the line. See the shoulders never getting turned too much and able to get in on the tackle. A middle guard, technique-wise, has got to be almost perfect all the time. If you get high or turned, you're out of the play.
Cross the tight end. Goes over on the right side. Dunn options it off. Humphrey. 18 carries now. Just under 95 yards. Pearson on the stop. If Humphrey gets 99 yards tonight, he had 901 coming in. He'll become only the second player at Alabama to have 2 1,000-yard seasons. Johnny Musso, of course, the other.
That's 54. Hill chased his play. Going right down the line, flattening up exactly what you're supposed to do in pursuit. But if he's the outside guy, look out for reverse coming back the other way if he chases that strongly.
3rd and 2. Russell motions. There goes Humphrey, and down he goes at the 20-yard line. Carl Dunbar, number 63, 6'4", 262, the sophomore, redshirted back in '85. 25 tackles, made a big one there for the Tigers.
What a job that front does. They just hang in there. They do what they've been taught. A defense that's always in the right place most of the time.
Chris Moore with just 1 punt, and Jimmy Young with a 7.5-yard punt return average. A beautiful kick. Spiral. Good hang time. And Young fields at the 38. Looks for a block. Knifes his way across the 40 and is upended there. A 42-yard punt. A 3-yard return. 10:53 left to go in the 3rd. We'll take timeout.
Introducing a small sedan made the Mazda way.
The new Mazda 323 SE has a bunch of technical sophistication like fuel injection, a roomy interior, lots of standard features, all backed by the best warranty in its class. I'm not kidding. You've got to check out this Mazda 323. Not only because it's today's best small sedan value, but because it's one small car with the solid feel and performance of an expensive road car.
This is the Mazda way.
Avoid the Noid with the Domino's Pizza Guarantee. We guarantee your pizza will be delivered within 30 minutes or you get $3 off your order. Guaranteed. And we guarantee your pizza will taste great. If you're not satisfied with your pizza, we'll replace it or refund your money. Only our pizza is guaranteed to avoid the Noid. Domino's Pizza delivers. Call now.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football is being brought to you by Mazda, bringing performance and value together. That's the Mazda way. And by the financial professionals at Payne Weber Incorporated.
Bill Curry said earlier when we spoke to him that his offense needed to get some first downs for field position. I think the last exchange shows you exactly what the problem is. They got no first down, and now LSU takes over on the 41.
McGee in it, wide receiver, and this is Victor Jones with the big carry across the 50. Loose football, but the play might have been blown dead at the 48-yard line. Alabama recovered at the 48 of LSU, and there are flags to be checked out. Might be a personal foul against 55 Derek Thomas.
Dead ball. Personal foul. Late hit on the defensive team.
Let's see if we can pick it up. Watch 55, Kevin.
It's a big penalty, Jim, and penalties, as I said earlier, have been a problem. Oh, the second one against Ondelsek is the one that did it, obviously.
Said, wait a minute, throw the flag. Did you see that?
I got to be picking on somebody smaller than a 275-pounder.
Now, Thomas is 6'4", 222. Ondelsek, 6'2", 275. 1st and 10 from the 32-yard line after the penalty. Guidry picks up the blitz. Not very well. Thomas ignited after that personal foul call. Tomorrow night, the NFL comes to ESPN. Loose football, Alabama said they got it. The Giants and the Patriots. 8 o'clock Eastern time, with Mike Patrick, Roy Firestone, and guest analyst Larry Zonka. The NFL comes to ESPN, the first regular season telecast. John Wildhack, the producer. Good luck, Johnny.
Don Lindsay, defensive coordinator. Good call here. Guidry looks like flypaper as they come and they get him, and the ball's loose. You see it on the ground. Thomas is the one that knocked it loose.
Pierre Gould wide to the left side. Bama with their second turnover opportunity. Motion by Russell. Humphrey stacked up. Maybe a pickup of 2. He's getting closer to that century mark.
Well, Alabama, they think they're going to make this work, but LSU is defending the outside all night. Here comes Dunn down the line. He does a better job getting Hill to commit. See, 54, but there's just too many people out here. And there's Hill closing from the inside. See, they don't really care if Dunn turns it up and gets a couple of yards. They want the quarterback to carry the ball, so they're all playing the outside.
From the 41, 2nd and 8. Humphrey again, 4 more yards for the record. Dives to the 44-yard line. Another flag is down. Eric Hill on the stop, the junior out of Galveston.
That might be a face mask. The way Humphrey went down, looked like his head was jerked around.
Got intentional face mask on the defense, 15 yards, first down.
They're calling this intentional. I don't know how a ref can tell us. Let's take a look. They call that Hill with the hand on the face mask, reaching out, I guess because he was looking right at Humphrey when he did it. But that's definitely a face mask. Whether or not it's intentional, the official says it is.
So the ball resting just outside the 40-yard line. 1st and 10 for Alabama after that turnover. A couple of quick plays and another penalty against LSU. Hill's ready to explode, bottom of your screen. Gould goes in motion. There goes Humphrey, and Humphrey approaches the 35-yard line where Rudy Harmon, number 58, has him there. A transfer from SMU, redshirted back in '84, out with a forearm injury out of Westbrook High School. How's Bobby Humphrey doing tonight? He had 95 yards. Johnny Musso had 1,137 yards back in '70. He had 1,088 yards in '71. Humphrey last year, 1,471 yards. And now, back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons for that man. The fullback, Bo Wright. To the 30, close to first down yardage. Clint James has him there.
Bo is a strong runner. They say he's the toughest runner in a 3-on-3 drill in practice. And I've been through a few of those and tell you that's a tough drill. He's got real strong legs, and if it wasn't for Humphrey, would play a lot bigger part in the offense.
Tell us about the 3-on-3 drill. What is it?
It's 2 blockers and a running back against 2 defensive guys on the line and then a 3rd guy. And it's your basic pound on each other drill.
Battle and Whitehurst, the wideouts. 1st and 10, just outside the 30. Battle in motion. Up at the 32. Carl Dunbar met Mr. Wright.
Mr. Wright. It was Mr. Wrong. It was wrong for Mr. Wright. I think he's following a puller here. Hutch Dunbar, and you're right. Yeah, they block down, and he just plays right off the back shoulder of the people blocking down. The play doesn't get there quick enough, and that's the general result or reaction when that happened.
Dunbar was a tight end, converted in spring practice back in '86, picked up 20 pounds to play on the defensive line. 2nd and 12. Dunn finds Kerry Gould. Out of bounds at the 20. Sancho and Harmon wrestled him out. A 12-yard pickup, and Dunn, a freshman. How good can this kid be? Poise.
He's got 3 more years, Jim. That's a good question. Let's go back a couple of series. Alabama with that big defensive penalty from Thomas, and then LSU turning the ball over as they were driving deep in Alabama territory. Alabama definitely got a break, and they're making the most of it now.
Line of scrimmage, the 20-yard line. 1st and 10. Battle goes in motion across. Humphrey goes to the near side, out of bounds after a pickup of 5. Didn't look like much. Pearson on the stop once again. He's been all over the field.
Alabama will run to the tight end most of the time, and I think Phillips is anticipating. As he gets his hands down, his shoulders square. Look how he keeps his shoulders square. Now when he sees where the ball's going, he turns to run. For a nose guard to get on a play on the sideline is great playing. For him to be able to keep his hands down like that, keep the blocker off him on a roll block, the kid's been taught well.
23 carries, 107 yards for Bobby Humphrey. Motion by Pierre Good. Humphrey inside the 10. 7 Tigers bring him down. The first to arrive, Rudy Harmon, number 58.
If you're at home, I want you to watch where the tight end lines up and then watch how many times Alabama runs to the tight end off tackle. And watch the motion man. They'll bring the motion man away from the tight end and then back to the tight end, and they'll run that toss sweep and a little bit of a counter off tackle to that side. LSU has got to know this, and they've got to be able to stop. The tight end is now left.
1st and goal from the 8. Dunn looks on the post. Safety bounds it out. Kerry Good dives down to the 4. Pearson bumps him out there. James Pearson, a 3-year letterman from Booker T. Washington High School. Paid his own way back to summer school after being declared academically ineligible in his junior year. Regained his eligibility, joined the squad in the fall, and is having some kind of a game here tonight. He had a great first quarter. 2nd and goal from the 4. Double tight, Cross and Epps, Allen, Wright, and Humphrey. Right. About 18 inches from Alabama's first touchdown.
Now you may be wondering, with 2 tight ends, what would you do? Well, Howard Cross is the starter, and he was left. So and here they come left. Now he's the guy you would consider the strong side. And they run with power to Cross's side, and they pick up yardage. What can LSU do? They can overplay that side, but they've got to watch the cutback. You've got to stop the side that Cross is on. Make sure your people pile it up.
Castile out of Elgin Air Force Base checks in at tailback. Castile stopped short, but there's a flag to be checked out. Marlborough on the initial hit. And Alabama is saying it's against LSU.
Violation neutral zone by the defensive team, half the distance to the goal.
Penalties and turnovers hurting the Tigers. Boy, that's a tough one.
Well, typical, though. We talked about this a few weeks ago. At the goal line, trying to get a jump, you will violate the neutral zone sometimes. You just got to get as close to the ball as you can.
Wright, Castile, and Humphrey. Double tight. Epps and Cross. Full house backfield. They'll get another shot. Touchdown, Bo Wright. Point coming up after Wright cracked it in. Rudy Harmon stood him up very close to the goal line. Larry Abney will put it down. Philip Doyle brings Alabama right back. Boy, this will be close.
From the side, yeah, they didn't get in by much. Now, Bo Wright, a great runner, very strong. Right there, he breaks the plane. Good job by LSU. Back they go, and a good call by the officials. I believe that that ball really was over the goal. And Howard Cross played a big part in the drive, not so much this play, but he feels part of it. Nice job. They ran behind him most of the time.
We've got a great shootout in the SEC, seesawing back and forth. It's Bama by...
The
tradition of horsepower. Miss Budweiser and the king of beers. A tradition of horsepower that's making waves. Racing fans, this Bud's for you. Introducing a family sedan made the Mazda way.
Toyota Camry, Honda Accord, and Mazda 626 are all great family sedans, but the 626 is really something special. For starters, it has a better warranty, much better. 12% more interior room than Camry and Accord. Plus, it's close to $1,000 less. And if all that's not special enough for you, just wait till you drive this world-class road car.
This is the Mazda way.
Kevin, just about the way you figure it when these two teams hook up. Just a 3-point margin.
Well, I think it's a credit to LSU with Hodson out and Davis hurt. Guidry doing a nice job.
There's Sam Martin. They'll try and keep the ball away from him. It's high, it's end over end, and it's Martin at the goal line. Stays on his feet to the 19.5, where Woody Wilson made his second solo hit on the specialty teams. A 20-yard return, and there is Mickey Guidry.
Wilson, the walk-on linebacker who doesn't play much, he did a real good job of beating the wedge and getting in there and getting Martin, who returns it for big yardage usually.
Guidry, 8 of 13, 92 yards. Will reload 80 yards away from pay dirt when we come back.
Exercise is a great way to forget your problems. At least that's what my brother said when his car's transmission went out. That's when I told him about the great deal I got at Kirkland Transmission Service. Kirkland will rebuild your automatic transmission for only $225 plus tax. And that includes all parts, labor, and even a torque converter if you need one. All guaranteed for 12 months or 12,000 miles. Kirkland Transmission Service, the answer to transmission problems.
Low back and hip pain, headaches, dizziness, tight muscles, numbness in hands and feet. If pain has become a part of your life, call today for your free spinal exam from Family Chiropractic and Health Center. The free spinal exam will enable Doctors Horn and Hitchner to determine if your spinal problem will respond to chiropractic care. Start feeling good again. Call 758-BACK for your free spinal exam.
Sunday, live NFL action on ESPN. The defending Super Bowl champion New York Giants take on the New England Patriots at 8 Eastern, right after NFL primetime on ESPN.
I thought Halloween was last week. Maybe one of those movie extras. From the 20, Guidry gives it off to Harvey Williams. And Williams, boy, you talk about the great vision. Williams for a first down at the 31. Tim, what's going on with...
All right, Jim Kelly, let's show you what's happening for Arizona State. Danny Ford looking for and finding Aaron Cox for the touchdown. And the Quack Attack, which was once looking for a Rose Bowl, may have problems having a winning year, Jim and Kevin.
All right. Scores and highlights with Tim Brando. It all starts 11:30 Eastern Time every Saturday here in your home for college football, ESPN. A triple header next week. On 1st and 10, Williams. Well, you know, he doesn't look like he's getting very much, and he reels off 5 yards. 2nd and 5 coming up. Davis on the stop.
Well, again, the interior of that line, Albergamo and Wyatt. Wyatt a little high there, getting turned. Now, remember we talked about Phillips not getting turned and getting off the block? That's the exact opposite. Wyatt held him up, but he got turned and created a hole.
McGee, wide to the left. Davis, wide to the right. From the 36, McGee in motion. Williams, low throw from Guidry, scoops it up. Penalty flag is down, and so is Williams at the 40. Lenore on the hit, the freshman out of Memphis.
It's going to be holding on LSU out there. Somebody, it was almost like a quick screen. In fact, that's what it was.
Holding during the run on an offensive team, 10-yard penalty.
You know, Kevin, you look over that Alabama defense right now. There's not a senior out there. Thomas is a junior. Graham a sophomore. Shepard, a junior, Wyatt, a sophomore, Davis, a sophomore, Lenore, a freshman, Bethune, a junior, Jelks, a junior, Smith, a freshman, Osmond, the sophomore, and Mangum, the sophomore.
I think there's no question the pool of talent at Alabama when Curry came in was not as it had been in past years. And I think Curry and the coaches and Don Lindsay, defensive coordinator, did an excellent job bringing this team along to this point where they can play head-to-head with one of the best teams in the nation.
LSU 7-0-1. Designs on that Sugar Bowl, but then the Crimson does likewise. Davis with a catch at the 37-yard line. He just doesn't get excited. Mickey Guidry, a junior out of Gretna, Louisiana, an 11-yard pickup. He was unflappable in practice yesterday. Just outside the 35. Williams, the lone running back. Guidry audibilizes on that check with me. At the 42. Raggy McGee, the senior out of Boga, Louisiana, and John Mangum on the stop.
McGee runs a pretty good pattern. He's open, but Guidry off the mark to the outside. You're going to see it. McGee just can't get there. Maybe should have caught that ball. He was squared up, and it was not that bad of a pass.
DeFrank, that average whacked way down after a 14-yard punt. That was partially blocked. Jelks is back deep. Again, he averages 10.5 yards a return. This is a beautiful kick. Oh, DeFrank got all of this one. Jelks at the 22-yard line. We've got 2:42 left to go. A 42-yard punt, no return. Alabama cradling that 3-point lead.
I don't know where to start telling you about Mazda trucks. They've been rated first in customer satisfaction 2 years in a row. They've got the best warranty in the truck business. It covers you bumper to bumper. This sporty new SE5 comes with everything you're looking at, and it's still priced close to Toyota and Nissan's base trucks. So I don't know where you start. I guess it doesn't make any difference. You'll wind up here.
This is the Mazda way.
You don't need magic to conjure up the best buy on a new garage door. Just don't get fooled by illusions. Picking the cheapest price usually turns into less than a bargain. Or demand quality, but don't expect to get it for nothing. The trick is to put affordability and quality together. The solution is at your overhead door distributor. A great door at a great price, installed just right, guaranteed. Look in the yellow pages. Overhead door, we're all the magic you need.
Southeastern Conference, 10 universities for all America.
Will Ray Berry let Steve Grogan call his own plays? Can Jeff Rutledge bring the Giants back after the injury to Phil Simms? Find out tomorrow night. The NFL comes to ESPN. Join Mike Patrick, Roy Firestone, and Larry Zonka, 8 o'clock Eastern Time for the kickoff of the NFL on ESPN. 2:42 left to go in the third. Bama by 3. Russell lines up now, flanked out wide to the left. Allen is the fullback. Humphrey in the tail of the tandem. He's got the ball. His 25th carry on the night for 117 yards. Eric Hill on the stop, and there is Tommy Hodson warming up. Will we see him?
I told you if it was tight, you'd probably see him. A lot riding on this game, obviously, for LSU. And he's their #1 guy, no matter how well Guidry plays. You can see the bandage on the left knee. That could create some problems for him on the follow-through.
Hill is coming, but he's going the other way. Humphrey, look out. Across the 30-yard line. Should be good enough for a first down. Marlboro on the stop. Now Humphrey has 26 carries, over 125 yards. LSU, Kevin, as a team, 140 yards.
Well, I think Humphrey can thank these guys. Now, Epps in for Cross, number 91. Hook and Lawrence doing a great job again to the tight end side. And again, LSU has got to play that better. Alabama's not tipping it. They're just doing it and making it work.
Touchdown that put Alabama ahead, gets it to the 35-yard line, and that front for the offensive line of Alabama, Bentley, Rose, Schultz, Condon, and Chapman. They'd like to work on that clock.
Nice shot by Rose, yeah, and the last drive was probably the most impressive drive. The times I've watched Alabama, they're a different team in the fourth quarter. They will, when they are ready to win, they change. Their whole expression as a team changes, and they can pound it out.
Time, man open over the middle, his safety valves it out at the 42-yard line, and a late flag thrown by the back judge. He was 40 yards away from the play. Humphrey upended by Marlborough. Tigers say it's against Alabama.
Call offensive interference, I think, on the receiver for Alabama. Epps was wide open on the near side. Yeah, that's going to be offensive interference. Boy, that's a tough call. He threw it to the wrong receiver in a crowd.
Pass interference, 15 yards, loss of down.
Yeah, mistake by Dunn going to him as a receiver as Epps was crossing and cleared here on the near side. Alabama 4 for 55. Watch 91 on a crossing pattern, and Dunn had plenty of time. Watch him clear Marlborough, the linebacker. They'll go right underneath Hazard, and now he's clear. Just wide open.
He's as open as Dennis Quaid when they filmed that movie.
Are you sure that wasn't Jessica Lange?
Humphrey to the 25 in the grasp of Guidry. Well, the thing about Humphrey is you don't get a square shot at him.
Great backs. All great backs do that. But that's LSU's defensive philosophy, what just happened. They want to force it wide and run it down. They feel like they're a small defense, but they're quick, and they can run down a back, and they've done it all night to Humphrey. Humphrey's gained most of his yardage, taking that toss sweep and cutting it up off tackle or just outside the end. The real wide stuff has not worked.
They need 21 from the 25. 4 seconds left on the time, but time has expired in quarter number 3. So we've got 15 minutes left to go in the 51st renewal of a rivalry in the SEC that goes back to 1895. The fourth quarter coming up.
You don't have to look very far to find some high-performance luxury sports coupes with impressive performance credentials. You really don't have to look any farther than Mazda's all-new MX-6 GT. A turbocharged, intercooled 12-valve road machine that'll outrun those other guys and run you anywhere from 10 to 30,000 less.
A better value in high-performance luxury sports coupes comes from our intense commitment to your total satisfaction. That's the Mazda way.
This is the Payne-Weber Special Report. Some people are still asking, is this 1929 all over again? The fact is, the differences between 29 and today are far greater than the similarities. Let's get those differences from one of our top experts.
60 years ago, we had a very different market. It was dominated by individuals who tended to buy on very low margin. Today's market, it's dominated by institutions who aren't, by and large, very leveraged. But probably the most important difference today has been the response to the Federal Reserve Board. In 29, they actually raised interest rates. Today's response, quite the difference. They lowered rates, helping to stimulate the economy. We have a problem in Washington with the budget deficit. We've got to deal with it. But for now, the aftermath of the crash of '87, to us, doesn't look like 29. No, not at all.
Thanks, Ed. And goodbye for now. This has been a Payne-Weber Special Report.
Smile. The easy does the 35 for pictures to come alive.
35 millimeter? It's easy.
Kodak VR 35.
You just drop the film in. It almost loads itself. Then aim and shoot.
Have you ever seen a sharper baby picture? I have.
Whichever one you want to choose, we've got the 35 for you. Kodak VR 35.
It's a great shot.
Nothing to it.
We're not a company.
But we recognize potential. We develop it. We use it.
We'll make sure that as your responsibility grows, so will you.
As your ability for leadership grows, so will you.
Working with us, you'll gain self-confidence.
Become a person with a future.
We're not a company.
We're your country.
We're the Marines.
The Army.
The Navy.
The Air Force.
We're the armed forces.
It's a great place to start.
I'm Jim Kelly. Kevin Kiley is alongside. We start the fourth quarter with LSU unbeaten, trailing by 3. Alabama trying to upset the LSU Tigers here at home in Death Valley, Louisiana. 3rd and 21. Dunn on the fly, looks downfield, and it is dropped at the 30-yard line by Angelo Stafford. Dunn put it right on the money. That was a catchable ball. Kevin Guidry got spun around, Kevin Kiley.
This thing should have been caught. Stafford didn't really have him beat. The ball underthrown enough. Well, you could see it. Obviously, I can't tell you anymore. That's a tough break for Alabama, and Dunn.
Chris Moore, the junior 6'4", will kick it to Jimmy Young, and the Tide gives up the football. Tigers should get good field position. Young, oh my. Loose football, Alabama. Now, wait a minute. The whistle has blown at the 30. And there's a penalty flag to be checked out. The first question is, why didn't Young call for the fair catch? It will be Alabama's ball. Although you'd never know it from that picture. Todd Richardson, 23, came up with a loose football.
Bill Curry said they were going to have to knock it loose, and that's exactly what they did right there. Good special teams play.
Bobby Humphrey with his 15th 100-yard rushing performance, 28 carries, 130 yards on the night. And that is certainly part of storyline Baton Rouge, Louisiana. Bobby Humphrey has outrushed, if you include that last play, the entire LSU Tigers. Time of possession, almost 2-1, Kevin, in favor of Alabama, but just a 3-point game. This turnover could make the margin 10. Humphrey the other way. The Tigers must keep Alabama out of the end zone.
Second half has been all Alabama. The offense for LSU has done very little, and I think we're going to see Hodson. They've got him throwing the ball on the sideline, and they do. No matter what happens in this series, I think they need to get their passing game going. Running game not great, and the passing game has not been effective at all.
The 29th carry for Bobby Humphrey, approaching the record set by Johnny Musso back in 1970. Johnny carried 42 times against Auburn.
I'm playing defense. I'm looking for him to run at Cross, and he's left.
Allen and Wright, along with Humphrey in the backfield. It's Wright. Shy of the first down, and Nicky Hazard stacks him up. Hazard, the 87 team captain, one of them out of Jesuit High School.
At this point, it's like baseball. You got to guess on the pitch. And LSU guessing left, Hazard getting in there, Phillips getting in there. Cross can't do it alone. If you know where it's going, it's a lot easier to stop. There's just nothing there.
So Philip Doyle, who has kicked 2 field goals tonight, made them from 29 and 45 yards, will try a 40-yarder. Maybe a 42 by the time they spot it. Let's check it. It'll be a 41-yarder on its way. It's up, and it is no good. Wide to the right. Plenty of distance, but it was wide to the right. So the Tigers dodge a bullet after that turnover on the fumbled punt by Jimmy Young.
A tremendous job there by the defense after a bad turnover. Great emotional lift.
12:42 left to go. Bama by 3. Tigers ball when we come back.
Attention Woodland Forest and Woodland Hills area. There's a new Circle C store at the intersection of I-59 and Skyland Boulevard. Fill your car with Phillips 66 Regular, Phillips 66 Super Clean Regular, or Phillips 66 Super Clean Premium, and get an all-cloth car wash free with your purchase. Circle C has a full line of beverages, bread and staples, and fresh country eggs at low prices. Circle C at I-59 and Skyland for a free all-cloth car wash with your purchase of Phillips 66 gas.
I'm Steve Acker. Acker Appliance and Television is proud to serve Tuscaloosa for over 19 years. We're excited about our new warehouse, which allows us to buy in quantity and pass the savings on to you. Our warehouse is full of remote-controlled, cable-ready Zenith 25-inch televisions, regular price $7.89, on sale for $5.98. Acker will finance, deliver, and service your new Zenith television. Acker wants to be your Zenith TV dealer.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football is being brought to you by BMW, the ultimate driving machine. To arrange a thorough test drive, simply phone your nearest BMW dealer. And by Gillette Atra, the original pivoting cartridge razor, only from Gillette. The 24-yard line. Wide open is McGee for the first down at the 35-yard line in the grasp of Randy Rockwell. 12-yard pickup.
Gives LSU 115 yards passing, and that man, Guidry, 115 yards passing on the night. You're looking at it. 10 of 16, not bad stats, but he's not moved this team in the second half. They need to establish themselves offensively with less than 13 minutes to go. First catch for McGee tonight.
Guidry, 9 of 20 coming in for 131 yards. So he's almost matched his entire season total here tonight. They need a scoring drive. Now there's the audible again, and check with me.
Coming from the near sideline.
Sammy Williams up to the 44. Sam Martin, rather. Derek Thomas on the tackle.
I was wrong. He was audibling away from the coverage to the strong side, running to the strong side. He felt they were going to go the other way with the coverage. Martin, again, I think if they win, he'll be the difference in this game. He's a big play guy. He finds his way through there. Interesting about Sammy Martin, we talked to them about his body fat. Very low percentage. They feel they can only use him 15 plays a game because he gets too beat up in a game. Now they're going to need to use him.
Missed the spring practice because of academic problems. Their second leading rusher and receiver last year out of LaSalle High School. Nothing doing at all for Egloff out of Hanover, Pennsylvania. Anthony Smith out of Elizabeth City, North Carolina, wraps him up.
Nice job by Anthony. That's their #1 line prospect.
Well, you talk to the Alabama coaches, Kevin, they say he needs a little incentive, needs to be pushed a little bit. His intensity not always as high as they would like.
Yeah, you go to high school and you have great athletic ability. He's a junior, however, but you find it a little easy until you get in there, and all of a sudden you need to get gunned up emotionally.
He was an all-state nose guard in high school. From the 42, 3rd and 3. Guidry, slow developing play. Penalty flag is down. Wide open is Moss, and he can't find it at the 25. Flag in the backfield. Boy, Tony Moss had about 4 steps on Shannon Felder. Holding against the Tigers. Obviously, Alabama would decline and bring up a punting situation, get the football back.
Lee Osmond here, safety, and he's going to come something that LSU has not done well against the blitz. They have not handled it very well. He gets picked up, but somebody else is getting there. The pressure to Guidry. There you go. This play is there. It's just overthrown.
And it was the pressure that made it be so.
He did the right thing. He laid it up, tried to get Moss to run underneath it. Just was too far out.
Jones is back deep on 4th and 3. 10:44 left to go. And Frank has already had one partially blocked. This one will hit. And bounce for Alabama at the 29.5-yard line. A 29-yard punt. There was no return. 10.5 left to go. Alabama and LSU in a good one.
Waiter. Don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light. The less filling light beer with the first name and taste. Because everything else is just a light.
How much longer till we get there?
About 20 minutes.
Anti-lock brakes, internationally patented suspension, uncanny control. Conventional luxury sedans are built to survive accidents. The BMW 528e is built to avoid them.
Let's see if they're okay.
The Great American Face. Rugged, distinctive. The Great American Razor. Atra. Solid. Pivots for closeness. The Great American Face deserves the Great American Shave. Atra. Only from Gillette.
It's television's only official weekly pro basketball report. Follow the Lakers' attempt at a second straight title and the teams who could shoot them down on the NBA Today, every Tuesday on ESPN.
Only Alabama stands in the way of an SEC championship for LSU and a trip to the Sugar Bowl in the Superdome in New Orleans. Conversely, the Tigers and Auburn stand in the way of the Crimson Tide, but right now Alabama has a 3-point lead with 10.5 left to go. Dunn, the freshman, has gone the whole way. He's got Allen and Humphrey in the backfield. Motions by Battle. Dunn will try to pull it back down. Gets away from one man and dives across the 31-yard line. In the meantime, over on the sideline for the Tigers, the two quarterbacks. Mickey Guidry on the phone. Hodson blowing into his hands. The wind picking up here a little bit. Looks like it's starting to be Mickey Guidry's game, though, Kevin, to win or to lose. What do you think?
I think it's early yet. There's 10 minutes to go. And I think a shotgun, I don't know if they practiced, but a shotgun will help Hodson put him in there.
Humphrey slithers across the 35, maybe the 35 and a half. Nicky Hazard has him there.
That's the third time I've seen the LSU defense this year, and they continually amaze me. If I wasn't looking at the scoreboard, I would think Alabama had 24 or 28 points in this game. They give up yardage, but they don't give up points.
12 more carries for that man. It'll be a new Alabama record. Musso with 42 against Auburn back in 70. How badly do they need him in there? He leads Alabama in rushing, in pass receiving, in scoring, and in kickoff return. And Tommy Hodson taking some snaps, getting warmed up. So, Kevin, you're right. It looks like Tommy Hodson might come back in, and now Dunn sees a defensive front he doesn't like. 3rd and 5 with 9:12 remaining. So Alabama has taken a timeout. We will too, and come right back.
As long as there are people who can afford perfection, BMW will continue to pursue it. The BMW L6.
For a test drive, contact your local BMW dealer.
When the sun goes down, gonna light up the night. Silver label, red ribbon, a taste that's right. Gonna light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night. Michelob Light. Gonna light up the night. Light up the night.
A challenge is anything you make it. Our greatest challenge is the future. Louisiana State University is meeting this challenge through education and research. A strong commitment to excellence in academics goes hand in hand with LSU's current ranking among America's best research universities. LSU is our most important link to a better future. Louisiana State University, the heart and hope of Louisiana.
Alabama and what they've done on 3rd down conversions. They need 5 right here, and they're rising up in Death Valley. 90,000 are on their feet. Battle in motion. Humphrey on the option. It's Kerry Good. Kerry Good to Marco Battle. Carrier saved the touchdown. They picked up 40.
Great call by the Alabama people. The motion man coming on motion. He's been coming back, double teaming the outside linebacker. He slips him. You see he's right back into the defensive secondary. And not a bad pass for a running back. Could have been a little further. That's a great call.
He had a touchdown pass against Penn State earlier this year. His right runs right into the middle of the line. Brings up 2nd down and 7 yards to go, 8:37. And as we said on the previous Bama drive, the Tiger defense, Kevin, has to keep them out of the end zone. Just don't figure that the Tigers are going to get 10 quick points.
No, but they've done a good job all night. The importance of establishing the running game, you just saw it. They give them the same look, and you're really defenseless defensively. So eager to get in there and keep from getting a first down, and they were just dead ducks for that play.
From the 22, Battle and Whitehurst wide to the top of your screen. Motion by Battle out of Central High School, Union City. Done. Caught by the tight end, Howard Cross. Marlboro on the stop. Howard Cross started coming on Kevin this spring. Began to develop the kind of consistency Bill Curry was looking for.
Watch top of your screen, Whitehurst. Watch him go across into the end zone. Number 82. Let's start with the arms now. Dunn forces it in. Now Cross, I believe, stepped out of bounds short of the 15-yard line. You don't see him, but the official didn't see it either. It looked to me like he stepped out and then got another 5 yards.
From the 12.
Now I'm loading up on the tight end side, on Cross's side, expecting him to run.
Russell in motion. Dunn on the option, snipped out by Eric Hill. It was Eric Hill who was ESPN's player of the game last year. He came up with a key interception late in the game that ended an Alabama drive. The Tigers won it 14-10. He had 9 solo tackles. He also had a forced fumble at the goal line. Big play right there.
It's typical of defense close to the goal line. Everything happens quicker. You've got to make the decision. You just come. You just force it. That's what Hill did there, and that's what they'll do on this play.
Hodson, anxious to get back in, is taking off his jacket. Dunn on 2nd and 13. Flares it out. Incomplete at the 8. Looking for Cross. It was thrown behind him.
That was not the place to miss that pass. That pass was an ill-thrown pass to begin with. It should have been thrown outside and out of bounds if he was going to miss it. He missing it inside. You saw it get tipped. It could have been intercepted. Again, a freshman mistake. If you're going to miss outside. Okay, Humphrey's the leading receiver. Wright is excellent. A draw play. 3 points makes it 7 points. You've got to stop him to the tight end side, and then anything else you react to.
9 of 18 on 3rd down conversions. The ball game in the balance right here. If Bama gets in the end zone, the Tigers are in dead balance. Over the middle. Incomplete to the goal line. Marco Battle, the intended receiver. Howard Cross in the vicinity.
And Humphrey was wide open in the middle of the field. Humphrey checked out in a circle pattern, and Dunn never did see him. Again, the subtle things that you just don't get. There's Humphrey. No, that's not Humphrey. That's Battle. But just to the left of him, that ball's overthrown. Another pass that maybe shouldn't have been thrown. Humphrey running around loose in the middle of the field. Would have been a touchdown if he found Humphrey.
There is Phil Doyle, whose roommate was Steve Raymer, who perhaps is watching tonight. Raymer, when he went AWOL, called Doyle. Doyle's big field goal is up and good. 7:08 left to go. Alabama leads by 6. The Tigers can win it, though, with a touchdown.
When you expect performance, you can count on Tire Centers Incorporated and B.F. Goodrich tires made right here in Tuscaloosa. B.F. Goodrich tires are built to make your car perform, and Tire Centers Incorporated is your hometown B.F. Goodrich dealer. Tire Centers Incorporated is proud to represent the name you trust, B.F. Goodrich. So when you want value and performance, remember the 2 names you can depend on. Tuscaloosa-made B.F. Goodrich tires and your hometown B.F. Goodrich dealer. Tire Centers Incorporated.
Why you bothering me, boy? Are you crazy?
I'm a chicken hook and you're a chicken. Are you coming quietly or do I have to muss you up?
You're going at it all wrong, son. You gotta go to Kentucky Fried Chicken if you want to catch America's favorite chicken. It's a great place to get a great meal. No one makes tender, juicy chicken like the Colonel. It's finger-licking good. Here, son, let me give you a lift.
We do chicken right.
ESPN's presentation of CFA football has been brought to you by the U.S. Armed Forces. It's a great place to start. By Michelob Light. When the sun goes down, light up the night with Michelob Light. And by Kodak VR 35 cameras, the easy way to shoot great 35mm pictures. They weren't using that camera when they shot the movie at halftime. This one's far from over. Just like a movie script. Alan Ward from the 35 will kick it deep to either 23 Sam Martin or 33 Eddie Fuller. Sam Martin at the 5 to the 25, and Tommy Hodson checks in at quarterback. Hodson, the sophomore from Matthews, Louisiana, 6'3", 195, will try to lead LSU. 134 pass completions, 218 attempts, 1,752 yards, 11 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. The most prolific passer in LSU history, and they've had some good ones. Guidry leads 10 of 17, 155. He had a career night. The draw play, slow and developing, 2nd and 10 coming up. Victor Jones, who has the only LSU touchdown, stacked up at the 25 by Willie Wyatt, the nose guard out of Gardendale, Alabama.
Okay, things to look for here. Short drop because of his leg. Going to take him time to get back. That left leg. He's liable to throw the ball high. He can't follow through on that left leg. Can't put too much weight on it. Quick pattern.
Jones evens up a few steps to the left. To drop the blitz. Intercepted at the 30-yard line. Jelks comes up with his 3rd interception of the year. It couldn't have come at a bigger time. Watch Osmond, 82, the sophomore. He comes in on the right side.
They come right after him, and he throws it off his back leg. Watch his feet. See that? No weight at all on the left leg. Off balance. Trying to throw it in. And Alabama right there squeezing. Now that's what their defense does. They squeeze the routes. Tommy Hodson got to be disappointed.
As Bobby Humphrey barrels inside the 25 and down to the 20 in the grasp of Eric Hill. Big interception for that man. He was a tailback. Went to Bill Curry in the spring. Said, how can I help the team? Curry switched him over to cornerback. 3 interceptions on the year and another turnover. Humphrey now 31 carries, 149 yards.
Jelks had thoughts that maybe he would have been a Heisman candidate had not Humphrey beat him out. He didn't want to play second string. The starting cornerback in Alabama.
Humphrey the other way. Humphrey's quick. Inside the 15, down to the 13. Guidry's got him there. Talking about Bobby Humphrey and talking about the Heisman. If he would get the Heisman at some point in his career, he would be Alabama's first. And you think of all the great athletes that they've had at Alabama, they've never had a Heisman Trophy winner.
We'll talk about a wide open conference too. Now, a lot of the guys who were counted out early are coming back strong. Humphrey having a big game. This is a big win if Alabama in fact does win it. And their line, you have to look, as you look at Chapman, their line is just pushing LSU off the ball. There was so much room to run on that play. Eric Hill obviously tired. They've taken a beating. They've been on the field a long time in this game.
Mike Archer, whose team is undefeated on ESPN, looking at 5:42 left to go on the clock and a 6-point deficit that could be a 9-point deficit or even worse. What a great job Archer's done here at LSU. 7-0-1 in his rookie season. Hodson talking with Guidry. Who'll come back in? Will it be Hodson, who just threw the interception, or Guidry?
That's a tough call there. I don't know, but I would have to go with Hodson. If you've got the same situation, if they kick a field goal, Alabama, it's going to be a 9-point game. You're going to need to score quickly.
First and 10 from the 14. Tigers would like to force a turnover here. Fullback barrels straight ahead. Bo Wright, the senior out of Pritchard, Alabama. the top 20 is done as far as scores. Of course, scores and highlights coming up with SportsCenter. UCLA, no problem against Oregon State. Syracuse rolls big. They'll be somebody's bowl selection. Notre Dame came back. Jack Picknell's Eagles led early. Clemson with a big win. You saw that one here on ESPN. Florida no match for Georgia today, and George Perlis, good job with his mark. Bobby Humphrey, good job, dives inside the 4-3-2-1. Touchdown, Alabama!
You want to look good?
And feel great.
And maybe even lose some weight.
Muscle Beach is the place for you. 5:30 a.m. till 9:30 at night.
At Muscle Beach, you can get your heart in shape and reduce your weight.
Shape up, tone up, firm up.
If you're interested in feeling good and looking better or lifting serious weight, Muscle Beach has a brand new facility and a friendly and motivating atmosphere and the finest equipment available.
Come see us.
Meet Tuscaloosa Chevrolet's Mr. Goodwrench, Chuck Reynolds. Chuck is the service manager at Tuscaloosa Chevrolet, and he is committed to excellence. Under Chuck Reynolds' direction, the service staff has been increased and has received more factory training than ever before. Tuscaloosa Chevrolet has made the investment to protect your investment with the latest computerized diagnostic equipment. If you drive a Chevrolet, then protect your investment with the help of Chuck Mr. Goodrich Reynolds at Tuscaloosa Chevrolet.
Maybe a Heisman candidate again, powering in. The thing about Humphrey that makes him so dangerous is he's a great wide runner, but he's got all that strength. And here you're going to see it. Look at the strength of this guy. That's a pretty good defense he just ran through.
Well, as a freshman, Bobby Humphrey was the first back at Alabama to have back-to-back 100-yard games. Since then, he's been chalking them up. You need a calculator. 4:48 left to go. 2-point try coming up. Now, in a game earlier this year, Bill Curry shared some information with some folks about the 2-point conversion try. Some information got out he didn't want, so he wouldn't tell us any of the secret plays he put in other than to say, we've got some things we haven't shown before.
I don't know how secret it would be. If Cross is in the game and they run it, it's going at him, and Humphrey's the leading receiver.
Another look at the toss sweep. 13 times they've run it for 129 yards, almost 10 yards every time they've done it. In the backfield, Humphrey, go right. Blitz is coming. Dunn can run it in. Oh, he was stacked up at the half-yard line. One official started to go up with the arm. Did you see that?
Yes.
He started to go up. He looked at the other, and he yanked him back down. Darrell Phillips got to Dunn. Dunn says, wait a minute. I saw those arms going up. I think Bill would like to talk with one of the officials. I think that's what that means.
I don't think we need to describe what's going on here. Obviously, you already did, Jim. He's saying, what does that mean when you hold your arms up?
4:48 left to go.
It's a good decision by Dunn. He realizes it right away, and he goes for it. Now, Phillips makes a nice catch there as he leaves. There's no way to tell whether he got in the end zone.
There's the football.
There's the football, yeah. And you can't run back an extra point, so there's no point in doing that.
Curry is still trying to get any official to come over to the sideline, and they want nothing to do with the first-year coach at Alabama. Alabama has won 25 games in a row, and they've scored 18 points or more. They've got 22 now. The Tigers 7-0-1. Egloff tripped up at the 21-yard line. More scores. Tulane rolls over Mississippi State. That's the final. Texas by a touchdown in the third over Houston. Arizona State no problem. Washington likewise against Arizona, leading by 11. Fresno State falling behind to Cal State Fullerton, and at the half, the Utah State blitzing New Mexico State. 4:45 left to go here, 1st and 10, And at quarterback, it is Tommy Hodson. Intercepted the last time, complete this time to Wendell Davis up to the 30-yard line. Lee Osment, the sophomore out of Anderson, South Carolina, has him here. It's the hurry-up offense. There'll be no huddle. Davis comes wide to the left. Moss wide to the right. Davis 7 catches, 76 yards. Hodson tries to get his team lined up a little bit quicker. Precious time. Blitz is on. Hodson in trouble. Unloads. Incomplete. The experience of Hodson. Osment blitzing from the right side.
And the LSU people told us they do not do a good job with a weak side blitz, a backside blitz, and that's exactly what Alabama has done. They've made good use of it. Hodson can't see him until the last minute. He'll never get away from him. That's just good play calling by Don Lindsay, the defensive coordinator. When a guy's got an injury, you've got to take advantage of it, and that's what they're doing.
Mike Archer in the yellow sweater. Bernie Moore back in 35 went 9-2 in his rookie season. The only rookie coach for LSU to win an SEC title. Mike Archer trying to become the second. On 3rd and 1, nothing doing. Boy, they had to get it near the 31. Victor Jones was stacked up. This will be very close. The spot will decide the first down, but with 4:07, are you in 4-down situation if you're Mike Archer now? You have
Absolutely.
To go.
No question about it.
Watch Tommy Cole, 51. Right there. He just wrestles him and pulls him backwards.
Taking the inside gap there. Nobody blocked him. I think Charlie McClendon was 9-1-1 in his rookie season here at LSU. And I think that Mike still has a chance if he loses this game to equal that, which wouldn't be a bad record.
Jones, 8 carries, 60 yards, and 1 touchdown.
They have to go down the field. 4:02 left in this game. They're not going to get it with square outs. They've got to go down the field. Davis is hurt. Hodson is hurt. They've got to find somebody who can run a flying catch.
Davis got it at the 47-yard line. Do you think, Kevin, that they almost had the lateral set up? Moss was trailing. He was wide open. Watch number 80 come into the picture. See if you think maybe Davis, they try to set that up.
That'd be an interesting play. This guy's going to make a great pro receiver, playing with battered ribs, taking shots, and making catches like that with people right on him. Possibly, Jim, possibly. I haven't seen that play in a long time. Usually there's a safety or somebody with leverage that's going to get you, but why not?
Dolphins did against the Jets a couple of years ago. 3:23 left to go. 1st and 10 from the 46-yard line. Hodson pump fake. Everybody's covered. Caught at the 46 of Alabama by Ronnie Halliburton, the tight end. The sophomore, number 89 out of Port Arthur. Rockwell on the stop.
They've got to hurry, and they've got to get in the end zone.
Inside of 3 minutes. Hodson on a rope. That's Davis again. Boy, if he had a little real estate, he was gone.
What a catch that was. What a player this guy is. If he was healthy, you'd have to say it's a tremendous performance. But this guy, he could hardly breathe in the first quarter, and he's making turning, twisting, making catches, trying to stay in bounds. And pretty gutty performance by this guy. And I think it needs to be said about Guidry that he's the type of guy that would take himself out of the game if he felt the team had a better chance to win with Hodson. There are times that he's been on the sideline that they've asked him if he wanted to go in, and he said, "No, Tommy's hot. Let him go in." Mickey Guidry's a team player and a good one.
Hodson, 4 out of 6, 49 yards, that 1 interception. Sideline pass, McGee. Out of bounds at the 16-yard line. Mangum on the coverage. You can't put it in any better than Hodson did right there. McGee came in, 16 catches, 276 yards, 2 touchdowns, averaging 17.5 yards per catch.
And LSU has not used any timeouts. They have 3 remaining.
Flood to the right. Blitz is on again. Hodson in trouble, doesn't see it. He's down at the 32. Derek Thomas came crashing through. He had 12 quarterback sacks coming in. He's tacked on about 5 more tonight.
Ronnie Halliburton just never gets out on Derek Thomas. This is really not the ineffectiveness of Hodson with the leg. Watch Halliburton 89. He waving at Thomas. Never got his feet moving. And then it's a foot race, and you know who's going to win that one.
2:32 left to go. We'll be right back.
No one would deny that the Japanese are aficionados of fine machinery. So when they reach that station in life when they can afford really fine machinery, guess what they buy? A car from Germany called the BMW 325i, making BMW last year's #1 selling import in Japan.
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
I don't know.
I'd go to college.
Me too.
If I had the money.
Yeah.
So what are you gonna do?
I don't know. What are you gonna do?
You don't want those fries.
What are you gonna do, Jack? Eat your way to college?
Really? I'm going to college on the new GI Bill. You serve full-time in the armed forces or part-time in the reserves, and you earn a lot of money for tuition.
The GI Bill.
Are you using that pickle?
For young men and women in the armed forces, it's a great place to start. See a local military recruiter.
There's our time left. It's 2nd and 25 from the 32-yard line. Bill Curry's Alabama defense would like to force a turnover right here. He's got a cushion of 12 points. Hodson with a bad wheel. The bandage on that left knee. Needs some help from his offensive front. Alabama, that prevent defense, only showing a 3-man rush. Hodson to the audible. And this should be illegal procedure.
Well, what happened there was that Hodson was trying to audible. LSU would like to run to the weak side.
Illegal movement, offensive line, 5 yards.
Yeah, and LSU wanted to throw a pass to the weak side of the coverage. And you saw Martin adjust. The thing just took too much time. He was talking too much, and the offensive lineman moved. You could see Sammy Martin, number 23, take a step up.
Mike Archer, who knows that LSU has not beaten Alabama here in Baton Rouge since 1969, when the Tigers won 20-15. Since then, Alabama has won 7, lost none, and tied 1. Hodson needs 30. They set up the screen. And Sam Martin. He is chopped down at the 33-yard line after a pickup of maybe 4 by Robert Stewart, the freshman out of Ashford, Alabama. Well, you know, Kevin, we talked about perhaps the Sugar Bowl bid being at stake. Alabama, they've got Auburn to meet yet. And there is Rockwell, one of the seniors. He's a 5th-year senior. He'd like one of those Sugar Bowl rings.
Well, when you recruit to Alabama, I think you expect to win a championship. It certainly has been the history. They have the most SEC championships. I think it's 18. LSU is 2nd with 6. So one would expect if you spent 5 years at Alabama that you would wind up with a ring for the SEC title, but it's never happened. They've never been to the Sugar Bowl, some of these 5th-year seniors. And I think that's motivation enough. It's certainly, if it's mentioned in the locker room before the game, you come out here and play in a tough spot like LSU.
Another senior, Clay Whitehurst, the wide receiver, number 82. Well, we showed you at the top of the telecast that road to New Orleans is not very far. Whitehurst, by the way, is also an outstanding baseball player. Hit 304 the spring of this year. Have you been to the Sugar Bowl?
I certainly haven't.
Would you like to go? I'll take you. I was there a couple years ago at Penn State in Georgia. You'd like New Orleans, New Year's weekend.
Do I have to stay with you if I go?
I'm going to lock you in your room. I'm not going to let you out on Bourbon Street. Here goes Hodson. He wants it all on 3rd and 30 in the end zone from McGee. It's picked off and then batted down.
I tell you,
Mangum came up with it.
Another official gave a touchdown sign again, I think. And it was definitely an interception, but I thought I saw somebody put their arms up again. Nothing else you could do. Hodson disappointed, of course, but there's nothing else you can do. Let's see what happens.
McGee, 80, goes up for it.
They get what they want, a tip ball.
Oh, that's a great interception. It was deflected by 27, Kermit Kendrick. looked like it was incomplete, and then Mangum, watch it.
Watch the official here, Jim. Watch the official start to wave his arms and then stick him up in a touchdown call right here.
Wait a minute.
Yeah, hold on.
That's the white jersey in the other guy's end zone. 2:08 left to go. Alabama can run out the clock. And Bobby Humphrey with a convoy around that left side cracks it to the 23. Eric Hill, who's had just a terrific game for LSU on the stop. Turnover is the story of this game, no question about it.
Well, I like to go back to that one turnover back after the penalty. Alabama driving, LSU driving, Alabama getting the ball back and turn the entire game around.
If this score stands, and no reason to think it won't, Auburn will go to 3-0-1 Alabama, and LSU will both be 4-1 along with Georgia in the SEC. And of course Auburn, they've got a big matchup with Vince Dooley's Bulldogs next week, and Alabama has yet to meet Auburn. Boy, Auburn, tough game against Florida State today.
Auburn's got a bullseye on their back now. They're the ones without a loss. Good job by Curry. When you go back to that Memphis State game, under siege, and he's really gotten the kids together. For LSU, they have not beaten Alabama here since 1979. That's incredible.
Wendell Davis with those bruised ribs. Right now, perhaps a bruised heart as well. He played his heart out tonight. Over 120 yards receiving. A great effort. Williams did not see that much action.
No, and I think because the game was close, I don't think they kept him in here because they know Alabama hits and they look for fumbles, and Williams has had a problem with fumbling. And tough for LSU to go into this game with their top two players offensively injured after having such a great year. They really came in here at half speed.
2nd and 7. Tigers would like to force a turnover. Give Hodson another shot. They fake the trickery, and there goes Humphrey. Oh, you saw the great balance. And then the acceleration and the vision. Eric Hill on yet another stop. All right, in the SEC, how about games remaining? LSU has Mississippi State. Auburn, we talked about, had the Bulldogs and the Crimson Tide. Georgia with Auburn and Tennessee. Looks like that Alabama-Auburn game, Georgia-Auburn, those will be your keys to who goes to the Sugar Bowl.
Georgia, look at Georgia. Georgia's sneaking back into this thing. Everybody is pretty much in it still.
Well, you know, we've said top to bottom that the SEC is maybe the toughest conference anywhere in the country. You can talk about Oklahoma and Nebraska. They're always in it in the Big 8. The Big 10 for so many years, Michigan and Ohio State so dominant. In the Pac-10, it used to be UCLA and USC. But in the SEC, it's anybody's schedule right up until the last weekend. 1:15 left to go. On first down, Dunn will fall on the ball. Great tight end out with a broken leg. Brian Kitchen did not play tonight, but that face, even though he didn't play, he can empathize with his teammates.
Well, he tried to practice during the week on a broken leg. He wanted to play so badly. He can walk, but he just couldn't run. And this is a nice scene. Bill Curry using all the things he learned from Bobby Dodd, Vince Lombardi, and Don Shula. Now at the head man at Alabama, and doing a pretty good job.
Well, as you look at the crimson of Alabama, and you talk about Kitchen trying to play on a broken leg, Bear Bryant actually did against Tennessee back in 1935. Inside of 25 seconds. And this one into the win column for Alabama. The Crimson Tide of Bill Curry come into Death Valley, 90,000. And upset previously unbeaten LSU. The Tigers are now 7-1-1. And finally, a smile from the head coach. LSU upset 22-10. The two head coaches both in their first year at their respective schools.
Well, believe that's Bill Curry's son right next to him there.
I think in the end, Kevin, it really came down to what we talked about at the very top, whether or not Hodgson would play, if he did, when, and how effective he would be when he came in.
Well, I tell you, it was two equal teams. If you talked about the conference, Alabama and LSU, with Hodgson sidelined, I believe this game was pretty much dead even, and it's a maturing Alabama team, a team that was very young, had their problems, and maybe a maturing coach, too, learning to deal with Alabama and the program. And a tough game for us to do, Jim, because I think of all the schools that we go to, Alabama and LSU certainly treat us as well as any of the schools. They're great people. Bill Curry and Mike Archer have been terrific to us, and it's Mike Archer's first loss, and I feel a little bit for him, but I'm happy for Bill Curry, too, and a great Alabama squad that you see right there in the middle of the field, and I think maybe that's really where Alabama's strength comes from, scenes like that.
And down on one knee, both squads from Alabama and LSU saying a prayer at the end of the game. A great rivalry in the SEC, the Crimson Tide and the Tigers. Tommy Hodgson, there'll be better days. The knee will get better. The most prolific passer in LSU history. Boy, you talk about Burt Jones and some of the great ones they've had here. He has broken some records, but tonight was not to be. Bill Curry's Crimson defense came in. They knew what they had to do. They had to execute and force turnovers. They forced 5 turnovers.
He said that to us. Said that to us in a meeting. But depth, you know, if you think about Oklahoma winning national titles, winning Southeastern Conference titles, it's not just football, it's depth. That's why recruiting and playing people is so important. And now Oklahoma next week is going to face the same problem that LSU faced tonight, replacing their quarterback. And how well they do it may determine whether they win a national title or not. It certainly did not help LSU tonight.
A long way to go for the bowl bid for the Sugar Bowl. But the way these two teams played, you can bet both will get bowl bids. We'll be right back.
ESPN heats up your November. Every Sunday, see pro football's finest in exclusive live NFL clashes. And the nation's top college teams are featured every Saturday. Television's best college basketball schedule tips off with terrific preseason tournament shootouts, plus 2 showdowns with the Soviets. November means the exciting finales on the Formula One and NASCAR circuits, plus a new season of World Cup skiing and live coverage of the Kapalua International. It's all in November on ESPN.
No doubt about this one, the Hartford Insurance player of the game, Bobby Humphrey. He had a career in one night. His 15th 100-plus yard game. The final score, Alabama 22, LSU 10. The first loss on the year for the Fighting Tigers. Don't forget, another big weekend next week here on ESPN at 4 o'clock Eastern Time. Either number 6 Auburn against number 11 Georgia or 8th-ranked Syracuse against the very tough Boston College squad. Kevin and I in Pittsburgh. The Panthers against 16th-ranked Penn State. We'll see you at 7:30 Eastern Time. It was number 26, Bobby Humphrey, with a convoy around the left side. The knees churning. That iced the cake for Alabama's 12-point win here tonight. And a little celebration for the man closing in on all of Alabama's rushing records, number 26. Bill Curry, in his first year at Alabama, has his Crimson Tide headed for a bowl. For Kevin Kiley, I'm Jim Kelly. We'll see you next week. Good night, everybody.
From the Great Wall to Wall Street, one airline brings our nation's business together throughout the U.S. and 13 foreign lands. United Airlines, rededicated to giving you the service you deserve. Come fly the friendly skies.
Coming up next on SportsCenter, number 1 Oklahoma gets good and bad news at Norman, while number 4 Florida State says, how do you do to number 6 Auburn? And speaking of introductions, meet Division 1A's all-time leading passer. In the NBA, it's time for Michael Air Jordan to ring in the new season against the Sixers. And in hockey, it's time for the Stanley Cup runner-up Philadelphia Flyers to get rolling. All this and a whole lot more coming up on SportsCenter. Hello again, everybody. Welcome to tonight's edition of the Sports Center. I'm Eric Clemens, along with John Saunders. And John, as usual on every Saturday, a big Saturday of college football action and bowl implications with just about every game involving teams in the top 20.
Bowl implications, and at the top of the top 20, a little bit of trouble. They got the victory, but more important things happened. After a couple of weeks of walks in the park, the top-ranked Sooners of Oklahoma today faced 12th-ranked Oklahoma State. The Sooners still marching towards a showdown with number 2 Nebraska and a possible national championship. Today against the Cowboys. Cowboys hoping to pull off an upset. Quarterback Jamel Holloway, 5-yard touchdown run on this one, but bad news later for Holloway, 7-0 at the end of that series. Lydell Carr was hurt in this one. Thurman Thomas goes 23 yards, takes this one down to the 2, and that would set up a Cowboy touchdown to close the gap to 16-10. OU was still on top, but then bad news for the Sooners. Holloway, watch here, as he turns his left knee as he plants his foot, and he is out for the season. A big loss for OU. They're at the top of the rankings right now, but they have Nebraska coming up, and they'll do it without their quarterback. OU does wrap up the victory. Mike Gundy's picked off by Troy Johnson. Johnson just bats this one down with the hand and grabs it, and then takes it in for the touchdown. 22-10 for the Sooners. The game is out of reach. But after the game, Barry Switzer, the coach, of course, remorse about the losses of his team as they have to go on to the rest of the season without their quarterback.
On Monday, and Lydell Carr, our fullback, is lost for the season with ligament damage also. So we took a pretty good beating today with 2 great players out. We still won the football game. We helped them. We gave them some opportunities, and our defense played great.
Anderson did have 191 yards rushing. Holloway, 123, but as we told you, lost for the season. Barry Switzer's 146th win at Oklahoma, passing Bud Wilkinson most Big 8 victories. Iowa and Nebraska, number 2 Nebraska, an easy winner, 42-3. Keith Jones had 240 yards rushing. That's a career high. The 19th consecutive season that the Huskers have had 9 or more victories, 15 of those seasons under Coach Tom Osborne. Miami of Ohio facing Miami of Florida. You knew Miami was going to lose this game as well as win. Miami wins in a big way. 54-3 was the final. Number 4 facing number 6 as Florida State went up against Auburn. First quarter, 7-0 Florida State. Second and goal for the Seminoles. Quarterback Danny McManus finds number 3 Herb Gainer in the end zone for the touchdown. 14-0. Seminoles again. McManus tosses, and again it's Herb Gainer who catches his second touchdown of the day. That one 19 yards. It was 26-3 Florida State. Florida State kicker Derek Schmidt with the extra point, and this one will be good, and Schmidt is the all-time leading scorer in the history of the NCAA with 369 points, 27-3. This interception, Berger having problems here. It's picked off by number 28, Derek Dodge. And the Tigers had 2 interceptions and 3 fumbles in the first half, 27-3. Florida State, 3rd and goal. McManus finds Pat Carter, 6-yard touchdown reception. The Seminoles celebrating Coach Bobby Bowden. Got his birthday present 1 day early as the clock winds down. And they have the victory. Easy win, 34-6. McManus with 3 touchdown passes. And as you saw, Schmidt is the NCAA's all-time scoring leader. He finished up with 370 points as Florida State gets the easy victory.
Now, the 8th-rated Orangemen of Syracuse needed to keep their unbeaten season alive to bolster their hopes of a major bowl berth. They took on the 1-7 midshipmen of Navy at Annapolis. Let's go to the highlights of that one for you. First quarter, Syracuse's ball at the Navy 39. Senior quarterback sensation Don McPherson goes long, throws a strike to Deval Glover on the post pattern. Wide open right there. Touchdown, McPherson. A big day as Syracuse routs Navy. That final 34-10. The Orangemen have now beaten Navy 5 times in a row. Don McPherson broke the single-season passing record he set last year at Syracuse, throwing for 194 yards. He has 1,884 total passing yards on the season. Now to South Bend, where 9th-ranked Notre Dame hosted Boston College. On the Irish's first play from scrimmage, Kent Grant sets up, and he'll unload deep to Tim Brown, the Heisman candidate, and he's open on the far side. 58-yard reception. That set up Notre Dame's first score. But Boston College, with their passing attack, surprised the Irish. Now 17-12 Eagles. Mike Power drills one over the middle to Darren Flutie. 31-yard touchdown between two defenders. BC looking for the upset, 25-12 in the third. But with Tony Rice at quarterback, the Irish scored 13 unanswered points. He gives it to Mark Green, who goes up and over his second touchdown of the day. The Irish survives a scare there, 32-25 as they come back to win it. Tim Brown had a career-high 294 all-purpose yards on 16 plays. The Irish close out with a tough one, Alabama, Penn State, and Miami on their schedule. And we have Penn State over Maryland. That final 21-16, the Nittany Lions win that ball game.
Stay with us here on the Sports Center. Eric and I will be back in just a moment with more, including tonight's play in the National Hockey League.
Also more college football as Alabama and LSU match up atop the SEC. And now playing the arena of the NBA is Michael Air Jordan. We'll show you how he did later.
Sports Center is being brought to you by Dickies. They're America's favorite work clothes, but who says you have to work in them? And by Moet, France's best-loved champagne.
In communities across America, there's a working spirit. People working together with a feeling of pride. Where that feeling exists, there's Dickies Work Clothes. America, it still works. Dickies, the brand it works in. Dickies, made with Celanese Fortrel polyester.
When there's work to be done, there's one name that's always on the job. Arrow. The T50 staple gun, expando attachment, and hot melt glue gun. Arrow. You'll grow attached.
Hey, this trip I'll get this travel tote free. And just in time.
Budget Rent-A-Car announces free Pierre Cardin luggage for frequent flyers.
Love this garment bag. Just a few more trips and I'll get another one. For my husband.
The more you rent from Budget, the more luggage you get free.
I travel a lot.
So we got this whole set in no time.
Now, in addition to fine cars at low rates, frequent flyers have 9 more reasons to frequent Budget. Call for details.
Don't just ask for a light beer.
Give me a light.
Ask them to bring out their best.
Bud Light.
Bud Light, the less filling light beer with the first name and taste. Because everything else
The dining car.
is just a light.
A couple of teams chasing the leaders in the SEC, the 18th ranked Gators of Florida and number 11 Georgia. This for the Bulldog defense, a chance to redeem themselves. A local newspaper column claimed the Dog defense was so bad it couldn't cover their mouths when they coughed. Well, the Dogs were there, and so was Uga. A chance for them, as I said,